Bienvenidos a The Prescription con Doc y mi amigo from Puerto Rico, from the Americas. I have here American numbers. Arturo, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. How you doing, Doc?
I'm good. I'm good.
Let's talk
Um,
about let's talk about wrestling, right?
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk about like the business.
uh, anybody who's listening to my podcast knows the last thing I talk about really is pro wrestling. So I thought I might have given the people something that they want to talk about. Some things I've got in my email say you don't talk about wrestling enough. So I thought who better to bring than one of the guys that gave us some of my best stories. Some of the best stories with Ricky Martin. Some of the best stories with Joaquin Phoenix. I know I'm name dropping, but yeah, welcome back to the show, man.
Yeah, it's like it's fun. I mean, though, like let's take it another way. Like I think the way to kind of that we make this fun for people is like there are no bad takes.
Oh,
Doc, there are no bad takes.
no.
Like
Yeah.
we say them, and if they sound bad, like you just workshop them out. You know, we like
Yeah, yeah.
we throw them out. Like I'll get like people get annoyed when I was like I was throwing this out. Like to start was like I was throwing out this idea that came to me, which is like you either love Ishii or you love Hangman. You can like both of them, but if you love one style, it's like different styles of anime, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's like a very different way to deal with adversity for each one of them. And again, I get the like I'm not a very big Ishii guy. I like him, but I don't love him. So I like
Yeah.
get but I love Hangman, and I get frustrated when people don't love Hangman. But the people who don't love Hangman as much as I do are generally people who love Ishii a lot. I'm like, so it's like I can appreciate it, but I don't love it, right? It's like
Yeah.
kind of. But hey, people tell me that's a dumb take. I don't know. It's like,
Well, like when I think about those two, it's a dichotomy of like Ishii is stoic. The only
yes,
emotion he shows is like, okay, I'm mad, and then I'm angry.
it's
It's
it's it's
that's
it's
it.
it's the way to view it is like you know how like there's male anime and like
Yeah.
female anime or
Yeah.
female manga. It's the energy. It's how you deal with the conflict and adversity, and I think that's kind of why it's like people are like, but I like it's like or like you know, I'm gonna say something silly. It's like people who like female targeted porn versus like male targeted porn, right?
Yeah.
Which is like it's a different energy, man. It's like I'm taking this places, man. I'm taking this places.
Like
We're like the story energy is different, right? And it doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just like there's gonna be one style that's going to appeal to you and one style that doesn't. Kind of like mainstream wrestling in the U.S. There's gonna be one style that appeals to you and one style that doesn't really. And like you might like it, right? But your thing is not this style. Your thing is the other style, right?
yeah.
So it's why like people get like I like a like you know it's like I can like multiple styles, but there's always going to be something within the world that's going to speak to me more. If that makes sense,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. This
Like I can sit there and like watch Dragon Gate and be like, oh, this is really fucking cool, or like watch
yeah.
AEW, and it doesn't mean that I don't like other styles, but it's just that particular way of working it, right? Is exactly it's that little. People have seen this manga. It's like this is my hole, right? There's a hole and it's
Yeah.
built just for me, right? And that's kind of that's kind of the way it should work.
Yeah, yeah. I like. Speaking of like Dragon Gate, because I watched. We'll start off on this. So I watched Kobe World this morning. I'm only gonna go over like the first couple. Like I did love Yamato finally getting his reign ended by one of the big six for the Reiwa Big Six. Like Sean Skywalker is obviously the biggest star in that company. He's he is beyond Dragon Gate like such a weird amount. Like if there was another company, like if there was another like third big Japan company or American company, they would bring this guy in instantly and give him the world because he gets it like in a weird amount of ways. Whether it's the in ring is always good from him, but like the character work is excellent.
You want to hear my hot Dragon Gate take?
What's up?
I think they're setting up. I think Shun's gonna get a face lucha stable.
Oh,
It's gonna be him, and
yeah.
it's gonna be it's an I forget what the young guys is. It Hinare? I forget like the guy who's working for
Homare.
them.
Homare. Yeah.
Homare, and then like Luis Monte, Flamita, and Onil Bendito. I think
Yeah.
that's gonna be a stable.
I
Like,
think
and they're all gonna wear, and they're all
yeah.
gonna wear white like El Santo, right? So like,
Yeah.
if you saw the lucha guys were all wearing white, and like Shun had this like Santo gear but in black.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's just gonna go all white, and it's gonna be really fucking cool. They're
It's
gonna be like a cool white lucha stable.
yeah,
It's
because
gonna
this
rock.
the best heels also make the best faces in some
Yes.
in a lot of cases, especially him because he's like a pure like lucha. He's like super lucha. it's
Yeah.
it's crazy, and he actually speaks Spanish too because it's kind of funny. And then like the way he won absolutely clean. He fought that match from the bottom as the underdog, which is kind of
And he broke out his lucha moves,
yeah. He
which
brought
he
back
hadn't
all
done
his
in ages.
flippies.
He did his moonsault, and he did a bunch of like, yeah, and he was doing Java shit, and like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like great. And I was like I was watching this with some guys live, and I was saying like yeah, it feels to me like they set up the Monte Flamita Bendito kind of guys all wearing white lucha stable Team Mexico to work with Shun, and then work with like, and if they do that, that's gonna be really fucking cool, because if you've seen those three guys, Monte Flamita and Bendito have been kind of like the highlight in the middle of the card for that for Dragon Gate. They're really like, if people haven't seen these three guys, like those guys are really good workers.
Yeah.
Like Flamita may be one of the best workers who isn't signed by a major company in the world. He's fucking good.
I think people like still have this vision of Flamita as the fat chubby guy that was in AAA and then Ring of Honor.
No.
The people that haven't been watching modern Dragon Gate that haven't seen him like blossom back into like one of the best work, like him and Bandito are like 1-to-1 to me on in ring. It's crazy. And Bandito has been one of the good pickups they had. Like I think they picked him up
Onio Bendito, like they call him Bandido on the, and I'm like frustrated. He is Oni el Bendito, right?
Bendito.
Not Bandido. He's Bendito.
Yeah.
And Onio Bendito is a really tall Mexican dude, really great base, and he's like working with Flamita and Monte. And if you've seen Flamita and Monte, Flamita and Monte are both like really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Monte is like Monte's like, how is this guy not a huge, gigantic? And supposedly like he doesn't want to go back to Mexico or the States, but like he's like this big. He's big, tall, handsome Mexican guy.
Yeah.
Great base, great worker, and I'm like, God, this dude, like one of the major companies, if you wanted to, like, should just put him on top. He's just like that good, and they're a really good tag. And Oni is like learning how to work as a base. It's really cool. Like Dragon Gate in general is fun because like you see these guys and you can see all the young talent. And it's really fun, and they work really well, and you can see guys just developing show to show, and it's all really impressive. It's like it's we're going to talk about other companies later where that's not really the case, particularly in Japan.
Yeah.
With the Reiwas, Shun, as I said, like Shun is, I'd say Shun of all the Reiwa talent, he's probably, I mean, it's him and Takeshi in some order.
Yeah.
Like overall, it's like the absolute like, and it's clear. It's like, no, these guys are the best for that particular generation.
Yeah, because like they had those United Japan shows, right? And like they had the main event where on one side it was I think Umino, Ueno, and like Uemura versus like it was Shun, Takeshita. I forget the third guy, but like
isn't it the All Japan guy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Was it Anzai? I'm not sure if it was Anzai or Ayagi. But like when you see Shun and Takeshita, and like when I listen to like other New Japan podcasts, shout out to you, Keeping It Strong Style, Super J-Cast, We Work Stiff. Like when they say like you when the camera goes to Takeshita and Shun, they stood above everybody else. Like those guys are stars. Cameras don't lie. The camera can't lie, and
yeah, I think what's really, I would say that. If I was rating them, I would say that Shun is the better physical charisma guy. Which I mean, like when I say physical charisma, it's like Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura is the king of like just walking in and looking like the coolest motherfucker in the world. He just physically does that. Naito is like that too, where like the guy like, and Shun does that where like he walks in and just like the eyes are just like physical charisma off the hook. It doesn't mean he's a bad worker. It means like I do think that like it took him a while to get to like that heel kind of place, and I want to see how he looks now he's going back face. Yeah. Whereas Takeshita, like, there's nobody better than Takeshita right now, and just getting like an awesome match out of him. Like he's like one of my favorite matches of last year was him working with Jeff Cobb in the G1, which is just like the two big dudes just flying all over the place. And he was working every fucking style, and he was just giving everybody their best match. And this is what he's been doing. He's just like really, really good at like just working like physically in ring. The product is going to be great. Yeah. Like again, like what I don't, and he, he's very handsome. He's the charisma. Like the thing I haven't quite seen yet, or I haven't been told is like like that presence of talking, right?
Yeah.
I don't know that he necessarily has that, or like there hasn't. People have told me that he's like, oh, he's great at that, right? So like that's why I said like I'd probably say Shun's probably like if I was trying to, I might draft Shun first
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I know that I can just basically build the entire like booking around Shun being kind of Shun, like he's just like he's that kind of huge personality. And
Yeah.
that actually does like play into it. But like I know I can build like my card around like Takeshita just working
Yeah.
the best fucking matches, right? So it's
Yeah.
if you could have them both, I mean, fucking great.
That'd
But that's
be
kind of
that'd be an insane roster, and like, oh man, I think of like so like Takeshi did like Media Row. He did Media Row for All In Week, right? So he did like the Salcedo podcast, all those other shows, just like doing, and like he has he, and like I've heard like his English promos, like when he did them all for Strong. He's talk less, hit hard kind of guy in America. In Japan, he talks his cash shit. Getting that translated to English, I think it's a little bit. It'll take him a little bit. He's still young. He's still like learning the language. So, him learning the shit talk, like Yao Ming learned. It took Yao Ming like 3 years to learn how to shit talk, but he was on the court with like, with some legendary shit talkers. And I think it's the same kind of thing, where you need to be in that environment and be given that chance and him just being in the locker room, and like if I see him on like Kyle Fletcher's like social media, they're fucking with each other and like bringing that energy out. I think him as a heel is him being held back to show that personality, because his personality is more as like a
well,
face.
I mean, we could
But-
you know what, we can talk New Japan, like if we're getting into it, like
Oh, yeah.
let's because the G1's starting tonight, right?
Yeah, a couple
and we were
hours.
talking about this beforehand, and the thing with New Japan, right? Like there was the Suji commentary saying, "Oh, I don't want to work with AEW because like why are we lesser than?" Like, I'm like, yes, you're lesser than because you suck, right? Because New Japan is not good. CML good, AEW good. New Japan is kind of like, like if you take the Takeshita, who's not really 100% a New Japan talent,
Yeah.
who is the ace for this company in 3 years?
Yeah.
Right? Who is the guy that like you're tuning in? I need to watch this shit, and like,
Yeah. If we're
like I know. If we talk about that, for Dragon Gate. I'm clear why I want to watch
Yeah.
Dragon Gate like 3 or 4
Yeah.
years. I got like 5 or 6 guys I want to watch.
Oh,
and like
God.
fucking great. Rita's fucking great. Like there's guys on the other
Rita.
card. I'm like, oh, this dude is fucking awesome.
Strong Machine J
And I'm
is,
like-
oh, God.
Strong Machine J.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of Jamato's still fucking great. Like there's
Oh.
guys in this company
Yeah.
that I want to watch. And I'm like looking at New Japan. I'm going like, well, you've done shit with this. And like, I like Zach, and I like Zach as a worker, and I know that the matches are going to be good, but like,
Yeah.
Zach is not an ace. Zach is a guy who's going to work like what is it? A Brit Rest Permit match.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
really, the way he should have been used is kind of like more like a heel kind of block to somebody who's coming up.
Like how they use
And they-
AJ. Kind of how they use AJ Styles, like as.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, also
But-
AJ Styles was fucking AJ Styles. I like
Yeah.
AJ Styles with AJ Styles. But effectively, the problem for New Japan is like none of you people are fucking interesting. None of you people are fucking good. Like there is nobody on that roster that's as good that, like, I would not trade anybody on the New Japan roster for Bandido, right?
Yeah.
And not only El Bandido, I'm talking Bandido. I'm like, Bandido's better than anybody on this fucking roster.
Yeah.
Takeshita is probably better than anybody on this roster, even though like
Yeah.
he is technically like both ways, but he's better than anybody else there. Shu
Yeah.
Skywalker is better than anybody on this fucking roster, right?
Yeah.
And you like the thing with New Japan to me, right? And I've come to this realization: the way Japan works is like every 15 years or so, there's like a new company comes together and formed, right?
Yeah.
Like it happened with it happened with All Japan and New Japan. It happened with Noah. It's happened a couple other times.
Yeah.
And effectively, what happened, I think, for Japan was AEW is effectively what would have been the new company in Japan, but it migrated over to the U.S. So like they didn't
Yeah.
get that split that they should have gotten when they kind of got bad. So effectively, they've been stretched out in this bad period, and really, there's nothing like, and Skatos are years are stale, and they don't have kind of a good idea for the roster. And I would say, like, look, why didn't you try out Okan, right?
Yeah,
You could
he
have tried
was.
out Ocon, but he was hot at one point. You could
Yeah,
have tried him on top and
especially
made
when
him
he
somebody.
saved that little girl from being attacked. Like you would
Yes, you could
think
have.
that would have been.
Well, no, but here's the thing with like to use an example, we've seen Ocon be the guy in Britain, right? So they
Yeah,
put him like when we went on excursion, like the UK used Ocon on top and it fucking worked, right?
yeah, he
So it's
was
like
undefeated for like 2, 3 years, I think.
yeah, and he's got like some riz and some energy, and he's cool. And when he
Yeah,
works a certain style, we've seen it in the G1, where like he works more like a rough rumble, like serious style. It
yeah,
kind of rocks, right? But they just didn't want like whatever the hell the politics was. They never wanted to try it with him, right? So then okay,
yeah,
so fuck that. And then they had a shot to like rocket strap Suji, but they didn't want to do that either, right?
yeah,
And they've insisted on Shota, and Shota is kind of the problem with Shota is no, I say this is nobody's ever given Shota like a singles title win. Not on
yeah,
excursion, not New Japan. Like nobody's ever said like, here's the ball. Let's see how you look with it, right? So if you've never been willing to give this guy the ball at a lower level to test out, like this is like we're not even willing to give him
he
like
had to make
we're
his
not
own
we're,
little paper title, like
yeah,
literally.
it's not even like Nick Wayne, who's like the ROH TV title, like but like
Yeah,
you know at least somebody said like, hey Nick Wayne, go try some shit, right?
yeah,
And like you kind of need that, and nobody's really done that with him, and like they don't trust him with that. So why the fuck do I think that we wanted to make like the world title when we've put him in like these Wrestle Kingdom matches, and it's been shit. I've watched these matches; they've
yeah.
been shit, right? And
You, you know what I gotta say about this though? Like, what they did is they did find a nice mid card with Narita, and that's it. That's the fully formed guy that they
I mean,
have is Narita.
I like Narita. I think Narita is a mid card worker, right?
Yeah,
And that's not bad, right? So
no,
I thought that and I thought that Uemura was interesting, particularly last year in a certain way, but the presentation's been off. Like, see, here's the thing. Like, the argument I was going to make is like, look at somebody like Kevin Knight, right?
yeah,
So New Japan had no fucking clue what to do with Kevin Knight. AEW gets him, and they're using him as like a credible TV wrestle in the middle of the card and exciting tag teams, right? So like, I have this thing right now where I don't think New Japan knows what the fuck to do with people.
yeah.
Like, they really don't. Like and
w-
they're married to like bad talent, and they've put all their eggs into the Wolf package, and maybe that works, maybe it doesn't. But
yeah,
what
yeah.
about New Japan the last 3 or 4 years makes you think that they're gonna know how to use like a good young talent?
Yeah,
Right?
because like Aaron Wolf, you know, Olympic gold medalist. He's a handsome guy. He's on TV all the time.
Yeah.
You would think like this is like a no brainer, but like also like Okan. When I go back to Oka, like he's a big guy. He had a good look. He has matches. People buy into him. He was drawing when he was doing his main events. His main events always do good numbers, and like he's sponsored. He has sponsorships. It's so
Yeah,
weird.
Okan should have put the belt on Okan. Like I'm serious about this. They should have put the belt on Okan. Just put him in on a B front like a couple years back. Make him a guy, right? Because
Yeah.
again, part of this is like he's the kind of guy that if you give him that run and make him serious, like it's like Shingo. Shingo's a guy, right?
Yeah.
Like make this and try it on because as you're saying, there's been indications that he's a guy who had something maybe.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm using him as an example, but this is like the same thing with Suji. It's like you could have given like
had
an
that
overwhelmed
momentum.
young guy run for Suji where he goes up like the Hangman run, the first Hangman run.
Yeah.
Where like
yeah.
even though I disagree when they took it off Hangman, but like that first run kind of like put an end run to his like in the first Swerve run, like where they
Yeah.
where some guys like that first run is about getting them established as main event guys. And look at these guys after, like look at how Swerve's kind of like when they once they gave him the ball, he wasn't. I don't think he was quite ready to be the guy when they gave him the ball. But like, he is now. Swerve Strickland is absolutely one of the most important wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
He's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And like, I think that Okan maybe had that, but you never tried it, right? And sometimes, particularly like when you're in a dead period, right? When you're in a dead
Yeah.
period, and they still had Naito, and they still had Okada, and they still had Tanahashi. That was the time to take these guys
Yeah.
on their necks. The next guys are going to be here for the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And let's try some shit out and get these guys maybe kind of like, dude, like, as much as I hated, for example, AEW doing the 4 pillars thing, right?
Yeah.
They did the 4 pillars thing, and they established that, hey, maybe we have something in Darby, right?
Yeah.
And MJF should be probably like, just hitting the upper card, but he shouldn't be on top, right?
Yeah.
But we got guys like we established and we made them guys. Whereas like I don't feel like the running jokes like they would, nobody would eat a pin to these guys. Like like even like fucking like Kenta, fucking Kenta wouldn't eat a pin to the Reiwa guys. It's like you gotta treat these guys and like you gotta try. You've got bets who you're playing at the who used to be like use those guys to put the next guys over. Yeah. And New Japan really didn't do that, and they don't get enough shit for not using the lower card bets to put these guys over, and for not giving these guys runs and trying to make them something. You gotta if you never push somebody, they're never gonna be anybody. Yeah, right.
I still think about last year. They could have done Tsuji Naito for the Wrestle Kingdom. They could have done that. I'm not sure why they didn't. It doesn't make sense to me why you would. And then like I also think about David Finlay, right?
And you know my theory with Naito. We've talked about this before, and I'll bring it up now. It's like, and I said this before I knew that the whole Naito thing was going to fall into contracts. I said, look, Naito looks like he needs to take time off because he's hurt. So I always thought that the way to do it was have Shingo betray him, right? Break up the stable, have Shingo betray him. He takes half the stable, and then Tsuji, who's still the babyface, can like carry the flag of Ingobernables and chase him. And if you did that, and you had done that last year, and like turned Shingo, which they kind of hinted at, there was Shingo and Naito tension going on if you were watching the shit, and they could have done that. And then like when Naito leaves, right, you'd still have the merge, you'd still have whatever the hell the next wave is, and you'd still have something for Tsuji to chase, right? Because you could have had Naito do a stretcher to like put Shingo over, and then Shingo could carry some of this stuff. And you'd have a more like relevant story with like now Shingo and Tsuji are kind of in this like gray area, right? Because you kind of broke up the stable in fucking CMLL on a fucking Friday show. What the fuck, right? And like it's like you learn from Dragon Gate, do a fucking like faction elimination match or some shit, right? Have Evil or have like Evil do a faction elimination thing against Gilbert Novice and have Evil go over. Like if you're really gonna make Evil like the main heel stable and have Hontai chase them, have Evil like get rid of Ingobernables. Like, and then like, there were things you could have done, but
because you still have like Evil and Sonata as like they're Ingobernables affiliated still. People still see them as Ingobernables, and like I know like YouTube metrics whatever, but for all the profiles they showed on YouTube, the guys that have the highest hit amounts are Evil and Sonata, and everybody else is like thousands and thousands and thousands, like way less than they are, and I'm talking like 10,000 less.
I mean that's fine. That's fine. I mean like, and I've also argued that like if we're gonna do this shit, then maybe just crown Evil, right? Just fucking put it like if you gotta like the problem with that is
it's sort of a push from Evil to
basically
Zach. That's sort of like a push, not like an elevation. It's like,
well, but I mean, like the problem is like so Gato's basically kind of like crystallized himself into this very rigid hierarchy of booking, and then he lost Naito, he lost Okada, he lost Tanahashi, and since he hasn't put anybody new over or hasn't changed anything, then you don't really have any like you gotta like break like when he did Okada, he broke the mold, right? So he pushed somebody and made somebody. There was the whole Naito thing. There's a whole progression of that. And there really hasn't been that with any of these guys for you to kind of go, okay, this is going to be the next guy. And people now are like arguing like, no, they're going to do it. There's the hot rumor is that CMML and AEW and New Japan want to push Takeshi, right? Okay, they're going to make him a guy. And there's been like, he's been kind of sniffing around. Like, I do think that AEW is committed to this because my take is that like I thought Kenny was going to lose to Okada, right? Because Kenny's project is Takeshita. Kenny's guy, the guy he wants to push, the guy he wants to make is Takeshita. So Takeshita was like sniffing around on like kind of like doing a heel turn on Don Callis. Now Don Callis was kind of taking on Okada, and like Omega kind of lost to Okada. So I do think where this is kind of going is probably Takeshita, Okada, and Okada putting like assuming we can convince Okada to like put him over. And I don't know. I was joking that Okada's becoming the perfect Ultimo Dragon student. We're like the event like we're like 5 years away from like Okada not taking a back bump in a match, right?
He's gonna tease a drop kick and not hit a drop kick.
Yeah, he's gonna tease. and he's gonna go, bitch, right?
Yeah.
And Ultimo's gonna be in the crowd, just like crying. He's so proud. Because, like I'm joking, but like Ultimo never puts anybody over. So like it's like, and Okada's kind of like moving in that direction. But I do think Okada does put over the guys that are guys for Osprey and Omega. I think so. Like he did put over Fletcher, and I do think that he's gonna put over Takeshita at some point. He's probably gonna put over Wolf, who's one of his friends, right?
Yeah.
So, but like.
Oh man,
I mean,
you
I
talk
thought like
about big time matches for Okada's return to Japan. Aaron Wolf versus Okada.
Well, I mean, I think I said like if politics wasn't in the bullshit, politics wasn't in place, the ideal match for Zack at Forbidden Door would have been Okada. Like have Okada beat Zack at Forbidden Door, and then Okada lays down for whoever the next guy is for New Japan.
That's what I would do. That
Like,
was in my head too, man. I was thinking about Okada versus Zack.
Ooh. And by the way, the perfect way to do that is then have Takeshita win the G1, and then Takeshita beats Okada at Wrestle Kingdom. But there's a bunch of bullshit where like I don't think Okada gets along at all with the Office, right? No. So like he and we haven't heard the whole thing, but it does really seem to me like there's a lot of really shitty politics in place right now that's kind of preventing some of that. Like and the final thought on this, and we can kind of move on to something else because like New Japan doesn't deserve this much attention. But what's really interesting to me is, so you're familiar with the way the whole thing in Stardom played out. The whole thing in Stardom played out where like Rossi was like, oh, you can't get rid of me because if you get rid of me, shit, like it won't work. Yeah. And eventually, like they got rid of him and put in I forget what his name is. Taro Okada, who's the guy who's running their idol shows, right?
Had zero to do with wrestling, just he liked wrestling.
But he apparently likes wrestling. But here's the thing, he was running the idol, and if you're familiar with the way the idol shows work, it's just like they're running these live state promotion with a lot of talent. So like he brought that energy in, plus he was like kind of a guy who knew wrestling. And then like if you're familiar, Stardom is like you can argue that Stardom is the hottest promotion like in Japan by far right now. Yeah,
numbers show that actually.
Because they were like, they don't care about like whether you're a person who trained through Star. They brought in the best people. Like they got Soray, they got the young people. They're pushing like, and it's just fucking going like gangbusters. And if you watch these shows, they're fucking great. And it's like, and if
Saya's a star, man.
If you're Bushiroad and you're going like, well, okay, so if the worst case scenario was we got rid of all the wrestling guys and supposedly Stardom was going to do like shit. But all of a sudden, we got rid of all the old school wrestling guys, and like Stardom's doing really great. At some point, you got to think they're gonna go. Can we do the same thing with like fucking New Japan? Why couldn't we do the same thing with New Japan? Because like effectively, there's like if I was starting over, I would like if I was doing a draft of like I'm the biggest company in Japan. I'm doing a draft of the best talent. How much of New Japan's talent are you actually bringing? If you're just doing a blind draft. How much of that New Japan talent are you actually bringing back in?
God,
or are you like rating everybody else first?
Yeah,
I mean, I like Narita, but I don't need Narita. Yeah. I like Tsuji, but how high am I taking Tsuji in this draft? Right?
Yeah, because Tsuji, like if I'm like thinking about it, you got Takeshita, you got all those freaking hosses, those young, handsome, tall hosses from DDT. Because I'm not sure why only DDT is the one and DDT and All Japan are the ones that are getting guys like over 6'3" and handsome, but New Japan can't find anybody over 5'9". It's kind of crazy to me.
The one thing I love about watching these DDT shows or All Japan shows, like DDT and Dragon Gate, is like it's all women.
Yeah.
And it's all women going wild about the guys. And I'm like going like, dude, they're the women taking photos and like just being like really fucking into like these like hot young dudes who are like, and you're like, I don't know how you kind of don't top that. And then you watch New Japan, and it's like it's all these old fucking dudes who don't put anybody over. I'm like,
when you look at like the peak New Japan, you like think of like 2015, 2016. You got, I know Naito has like a charm to him, but you also have Shibata, you have Okada, Tanahashi, all being out there like winning like the most popular contests like. You hear the women screaming in those audiences, but now we don't hear that much screaming.
Hey, the running joke was like we're 10 years away from like having like 10 Naito kids working.
Oh yeah.
Like they're all like all luchadors masked from Mexico, kind of like El Hijo de Naito Uno, El Hijo de Naito Dos. Like,
Los Ingombernables.
Los
El
hijos de
Tranquilo.
Naito. Los hijos de Naito. Los hijos de Naito. And they're like, there's gonna be one of Russia's kids, right? Like, it's,
Okay, that's fantastic. Probably
it
have
has
some
to be one of
American
Russia's.
kids, have some British kids in there too, because apparently
Yeah,
he's
it's
been
like,
laying his seed everywhere.
well, what's the running joke about the Mexican wrestlers all having multiple families, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like, I think again, I honestly do think that like New Japan is in a place like in my brain, I'm looking back for Wrestle Kingdom, like going, you have to put somebody over. They should have put over like somebody like ages ago, but they really should. And I really do think, and I've said my terrorist booking idea for New Japan, and again, I say this, but it's still in play, which is I think they could still do Mox versus Zack at Forbidden Door, and Mox wins, and then we get Mox Shota at like Wrestle Kingdom, and they're like it's Mox putting Shota over, but and like you
He's
can
the only
argue all
one
you
that
want, but
would. That's the problem for New Japan.
yeah,
He's the only
that
one
is a
that
very
would.
that's a very Gato book, right? Like, and I don't think that's what as I said, like what I would have done is like try to get Okada to put Take over at like Forbidden Door, and if you can't do that, then do the Zack Take 3 thing, which is like they work in the G1, they work at maybe like even 4, like they work at the G1, they work at Forbidden Door, and they work at Wrestle Kingdom. You can get to like 4 Zack Take matches in with between Wrestle Kingdom and Forbidden Door and
everybody
G1.
everybody right now is saying C2 finals Takeshita Okada, and I'm like, that is a strong possibility. Like it depends on where Takeshita lies on the G1.
I'm
But
I think my thing was I was kind of like going that, and like I said that I wasn't gonna pick anything for the G1 until I saw Dynamite,
yeah.
and Okada and Swerve being a
Oh,
thing.
that's a good match.
It makes me think 2 things. It makes me think that maybe getting another like show is in play, because I do think that new belt is a world belt, right? So it's a world belt. It might be hinting at a roster split, and having it be Swerve Okada makes me think that Swerve Okada might be the play going into the C2, right? I think Swerve Okada might be kind of
they want to move Collision to Thursdays now, right? I think that's
I think there's the whole Shockwave thing is still. I think it didn't happen last year, but it like we'll talk about the state of the business when we talk AEW. Like we can dovetail into AEW, right?
Oh, before we do that, I'm gonna say this thing about like Tanahashi. So Tanahashi, he's been working a couple of Dragon Gate shows here and there. Something I found,
too.
yeah, and he's been having the time of his life.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like one funny thing about Tanahashi is way better when he's not in this retirement tour when he's not working New Japan.
Yeah,
all the stuff he does outside of New Japan fucking rocks, right?
Yeah,
all that stuff has actually like been fun. Like the state of New Japan is that like Tanahashi did not bestow the high five flow to a New Japan worker.
Yeah. Despite Uemura using the frog splash, he didn't give him the high fly flow.
No. No, Uemura, you can do what I call the what I call Dom's frog splash. What I call the 2.5-star frog splash, right? So like Eddie's was a 5-star, Dom's is a 2.5-star, right? So it's like Uemura can do like the 3.5-star frog splash. No, but you can't have the high five flow, right? So like, but like it's kind of funny that I do think Tanahashi is aware that it's more fun outside of New Japan.
Yeah.
And he's having more fun like working fucking Dino and fucking.
Oh man, that Dino match was incredible. Because he was.
Dino matches. Yeah, you know what? Like Dino's like the joke. Like should be like the cringiest guy in the world. But like I still think about Dino versus the Invisible Man from earlier this year. That fucking match, just like God, that dude. Like because he's a like if people aren't aware, Dino's like the gay panty kiss. Like it's just the most cancelable gimmick ever.
Yeah,
you would never see him. But he's
shout
also
to,
like big
Frazier
fat
Ramon
Dino,
getting kissed by him against his will.
Dino is really fucking good as a worker. Like so, like occasionally, like you'll watch him, and like so, like there's a Dino Minoru Suzuki match, and like even though like it's got like a bunch of like gay stuff and like, but there's always this he always does something, or there's always some spot. And I said, like, there's this match he was going to supposedly work Okan earlier in the year. Okan got scratched out because of an injury. And so then it's Dino versus the Invisible Man. And that match is just fucking great. And you're like, I mean, it's not. It's still a comedy match, but again, it's like I want to watch these wrestling shows and get amused. And Dino's kind of like, oh, I know, Dino's on. Like, I'm gonna laugh at this fucking match, right? It's gonna be funny. Like, I'm always good for comedy. If it's like, if it's there and it's gonna amuse me, like, yeah, fuck it, throw it in, right?
Yeah, I like when I talk about like these shows outside of New Japan that are New Japan adjacent. So like Yoshioka getting the getting the high five flow, that's a big deal. Like, and
the 5-star high five flow.
5-star high five flow, and then he's also like in that Reiwa Big Six for Dragon Gate. So like him getting that. A lot of the guys in Dragon Gate do Tanahashi cosplay with their attire and the hair. Ryoya.
Where's the one guy who like looks like Tanahashi?
Yeah, Ryoya.
Ryoya.
Yeah.
Who literally looks like, oh god, we were joking that like the first time Tanahashi saw him, he went and talked to Gato. Was like, I think I found one of my kids.
Hey, he was a notorious.
Let me do some math. Like, when was I? Did I tour his hometown before he was born?
That guy is like literally like Tanahashi Sito. It's like crazy, and seeing like him give that reverence to this Yukio Shioka, he knows like this guy is gonna be something. He didn't do that like just out of the kindness of his heart. He could have like done that for. Like he could have done that with Yomura, because Yomura is doing kind of the Tanahashi 2005 cosplay with that hair.
Okay, so but which of the New Japan Reiwas is Takeshita put over? He's put over. It's like
has Tanahashi put over Takeshita. None of them.
Takeshita. No, he put over.
Oh, he put over Takeshita. Yeah, he lost to him in his last New Japan match.
He put over Takeshita strong, right?
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, that's where like I kind of like, and he did it in the U.S., but the only guy of the young ones that like Tanahashi squashed for is Takeshita, right?
Yeah,
it was like, if you go back and watch that match, Takeshita beats the shit out of him in that match.
I definitely think Tanahashi got the hydrocortisone shots in his knees for that match, because he took so many like. I love that match. It was excellent, and then like Takeshita cuts that English promo like saying like, "Thank you, you're my idol. I'm happy like this was happening." All that stuff, and like. Well, I mean, it's important that he lost to him, and they trusted Takeshita to draw on top in America with that match.
That match is the start of the Takeshita face turn, which is again like they're slow rolling a little bit, but again like I do think here's the thing: it's a possibility that I do think that like at least on pencil, they're penciling in Takeshita as the guy, right?
Yeah.
But given the state of New Japan, right? I don't know that it's a strong pencil, and there's a lot of failure points for him getting there, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like, despite themselves, they can talk themselves out of it, and they really fucking shouldn't, right? Because I do think the office still I do think the office in New Japan still believes in Shota, right? They shouldn't, but they do, right? And I think poor Shota, poor Suji, once, I think Suji was the Naito horse, right?
Yeah.
And so, like you can kind of, like, if I'm guessing, Suji was the Naito horse. The office and Gato kind of like wants Shota. I think Bushiroad and Tanahashi probably want Takeshita, and I think Okada and Bushiroad are like the wolf kind of people, right? And again, some of these guys aren't there, and like, but I'm guessing, but like those are kind of the way and nobody wants Okan.
Yeah, despite his popularity, it's kind of insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, like he shouldn't have talked shit about Okada's wife.
There's that too.
You know the story, right? Sometimes you play yourselves, right? But I mean, like, and then like, and people get mad about Gabe, right? Like the whole thing with Gabe, and I'm like, oh, he's getting booked. That's like people are complaining about how he's booking in AEW. It's like, okay, but how the fuck else would you book? How do you book Gabe in another way in AEW that doesn't conflict with his booking? They put him in the kind of the third from the top spot in the top heel stable in AEW, which I think is a pretty harmless spot, and they're setting it up. They set him up for an Ospreay match by having him murder Ospreay at like Forbidden Door, which I think he's going to get probably an Ospreay match at Forbidden Door. So I mean, I think Gabe is being done pretty well if he's going to like get a match with Kenny and then get a match with Will, right? And then you're also not, you can't have him just eating fucking pins on Dynamite, right? So it's how you have to use it. And you can't tell Gabe not to go work Dynamite when I'm pretty sure that Gabe, working like 3 months in AEW, is probably going to make more money than he would probably make in 2 years in New Japan. right? So,
Yeah. You know, also like his ladies there, so
well,
I'm
I've been told that I can't, that it's not officially confirmed, so I cannot say that. And
I,
Doc, we can't say that because it's not public, even though it's fucking
okay.
obvious. But we can't say that Gabe is living with his lady and like getting Tony Khan to expense everything, and he's getting more money than he's probably ever made in his life in New Japan, right?
Oh, and he's he's also
Because
getting
here's
the
the thing,
rub from named guys right now.
like I'm pretty sure if you're in New Japan and you got to get like a show in fucking Yokohama, you fucking have to like pay for the train out of your own fucking pocket. Versus if you're like working with like AEW is expensing account everything, right? So it's all
Yeah.
on TK's credit card, the hotel, the drinks, the travel. So
Hey,
fuck. So I want to do that and then hang out with Willow, or do I want why the fuck would you ever say no to that
hey.
on national TV in the U.S.?
I have a perfect uh, perfect segue from that because like all these WWE guys go to TNA and like all those expenses are taken by TNA to work those shows. Upcoming Slammiversary. So it's kind of like the situation with AEW New Japan is kind of like TNA and WWE right now.
Well,
Where
no, it's inverted in like the sense of like I'm gonna take a shot at the New Japan because I should, right? And this is like my complaint, right? Which is I said the whole thing about like really New Japan got fucking lucky that AEW exists, because if AEW doesn't exist, then you get another promotion in Japan, probably, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you would have gotten another Noah, basically. Like we're like half the roster, the good part of the roster, gets pissed at the office and walks away. That didn't happen, and then you have AEW, and AEW has one. They give them multiple shows a year where like they're pumping money into Bushiroad straight up.
Yeah.
And then they're also like putting a lot of the vets on TV, so like they get more money. So like guys like Ishii can come over and like make a bunch of money, and like they're not leaving. So like it's gonna stabilize your roster a little bit more. Now, has New Japan done anything with kind of like the benefit that they have? Not really, because if you look at like CMLL, whether CMLL is doing the thing now where like they have the dual contracts with like Dorada and like Hechicero just got confirmed as being a double contract. And like he's showing up for the shows. They're getting to work on national TV. They're doing they're starting to do dually branded shows between Ring of Honor and CML, which are doing really fucking well.
Yeah.
And you think back, it's like nothing. New Japan could have done a lot more strong AEW shows and done a lot more live shows and draw tickets. They had the people there, and they could have done that. Like, and I can't. If you have the opportunities and you don't take advantage of them, then I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah.
And again, I don't think that I raised the point of Kevin Knight where like there's talent that's left or Kyle Fletcher that you weren't fucking using properly. That clearly was like Kyle Fletcher. People knew that Kyle Fletcher was a fucking guy, and like supposedly like New Japan wasn't paying his fucking medical care when he got hurt, right?
I think AEW came in for Fletcher and Davis at the same time and said like, "Hey,
but here's the thing: people forget. Like Tony signed them when they were hurt, and he paid for their fucking medical care, right? So don't give me shit about New Japan if you have a guy like Fletcher on the roster, who is fucking great, and he's fucking like gonna be one of the next guys, and you don't give him a contract, and you don't pay for medical care. Fuck you.
I also think
that
was a big part of Ospreay coming into AEW was they said we got your friends, even though like it's like I liked Aussie Open as a talent. They're very talented. They're a good pickup, but like that kind of plays into like Ospreay. Ospreay worked that all in.
Well, people. Okay, but see, here's the thing. Like, I've been watching Kyle Fletcher since he was working WXW versus Walter and Ilya. If you've never seen those matches, Walter and Ilya versus Aussie Open, that series fucking rocks. It's WXW. You can generally find that online.
Yeah.
But it's like if you watch him, it's Fletcher looking like Nick fucking Wayne, right? And not Nick Wayne now. It's Fletcher looking like Nick Wayne 2 years ago, right?
Yeah. Because he was the same age. But he was like.
Yeah, and he's like no, but he's got like that look, the same look that Takeshita has when he was really young. I was telling people that like
skinny.
These young like these guys who are like very skinny, very like, but they're good. And then you're like, this guy's gonna grow into his body. And I mentioned that to somebody because I was seeing Nick Wayne. If you saw Nick Wayne at All In and you start thinking about how he looked like 2 years ago, Nick Wayne's starting to look like a man, right?
Yeah.
There's a difference between looking like a boy and looking like a man, and it's a thing that has never happened with Daniel Garcia. Where like I love Daniel Garcia, but he still looks like a kid. right?
Yeah,
Whereas like Nick Wayne is starting to look like a man, and you start going like, oh, same thing that happened with Fletcher. Fletcher went from looking like a kid to looking like a man, and then you're like, oh shit. Once he
yeah.
starts looking like that, you're like, oh, this guy can be the face of a
Yeah.
promotion, right?
When
Because
the jump to the Don Callis family, and he's working out with like Takeshi Hobbs, with all those guys, right? He starts lifting and getting like the actual like knowledge of like how do I get to this size, how do I look like this, and it pays off. And it shows off in his work. And like I think of like Nick Wayne also, and like he has the benefit of, you saw that promo, right? He's Christian. He's
yeah, no, but no. Here's the thing. Like, so here's the thing. People were talking about he's holding the belt like Christian, right?
Yeah.
You know who I was watching? You know who I was watching that was holding the belt in Mexico City like that, like 10 years ago?
Who?
I was watching like a shoot interview, like an interview with Hechicero. He's doing the same thing. All the lucha guys hold their belts like that too.
Yeah.
It's like I'm like the big dressed like, you know, like actually it's funny. Christian kind of carries himself like a luchador. He's wearing like this like turtleneck, the lucha turtleneck with the mask thing.
Oh.
He's like a luchador without the mask, and he's holding the belt like the old school luchadors. I'm like, that's really fucking cool because it makes you like that presentation and looking like a champion kind of thing, right?
Yeah. And you know, Christian is putting these things in his head of like, you have to be a champion. You have to present yourself as, even if you're not the biggest guy, you are the one that, you're the focus of the camera. You're the guy. You're always like in the right spot. It's Nick crazy.
Wayne is but it's funny, but like Nick Wayne's a guy who like went from like looking like a kid to all of a sudden starting looking like a man and like carrying himself better. I'm like, oh, they have something with it, right? And it's clear. You look at him and you gotta go like, you can see it with him. You watch him now, you're like, oh, in 2 years, you're like, oh shit, this guy is gonna be right, because he's like he's continuing to kind of grow, and that kind of look and presentation and feel, right, is what I don't see with the Reiwa boys, right?
Yeah.
For the basic Reiwa, like I don't see that with Shota. Shota tries, but he almost looks like a kid playing dress up. It's kind of annoying, right?
Yeah. The shaved head thing, it kind of it gave him a little bit, right? Okay, the shaving his head.
The thing, my argument, like I'm gonna rehab Shota now. It's like my argument with Shota is the way you have to. Are you familiar with Ryan Leaf?
No. Go ahead. You can.
Like this quarterback, he was like this gifted quarterback. His dad was a coach, and then like he basically like went crazy.
Oh
because of the expectation he was going to be great. It's one of these guys where like the dad and all the expectations. And there's this like, if you watch the Zach Shota match, there's actually a part that's good, which is where Shota's kind of losing his mind at his dad, and he's like resentful and he hates him, and he's like mad that he has to be like this guy, and that's the energy he needs. He needs to tap like the coach's son energy. Is what he needs to tap. That's the heel energy that he needs, and that's the gimmick he should be working. Where like he hates what he's doing, and that's the thing that like they haven't they want to push him as a babyface, and it's like no. He should be like the guy who's mad that he has to inherit his dad's business. That's the guy he should be, right? And then just be mad, like kind of the shoot energy actually. Just like I'm mad at everybody, and you guys suck, and I'm above you. And they just haven't cracked that with it. Sorry.
Yeah, it's true. It's hard to kind of cultivate that though with a guy who gets so many pieces from so many different people and gets so much. Like to me, like Umino comes off like a guy who is taking advice from everybody and trying to input it all at one time, and nothing.
Yeah,
hits.
but like he comes off as the most true when he's like, "Fuck you, fuck you, I'm not you, Dad." Right? That is the best energy for Shota. Where like he's just like fuck, like where he's mad at having to be that guy, right? But that's heel energy, right? Like, and if they ever tap that with him, where like he just goes, just I hate you, Dad. That's the energy that you need from him, right? Yeah. And I don't know, like, and it was kind of a missed opportunity because he had the perfect thing with Goto, where like Goto's like doing it for his dad and his family, and Shota should have been like going heel the exact opposite way. That's the way you should have kind of worked it. And then maybe you can round back to kind of like coming back to like eventually being face. But like, see, that's one of the things like people don't kind of get is for the most part, like it's a WWE, like a lot of times, like you have to be heel first before you can be babyface, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to kind of go there, and then before you can kind of come back and be like the popular babyface. So like the Roman thing, like Roman had to be a heel before he fucking got over, really.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say success, but he had to be a heel. He had to like, it was a better energy for what he was kind of doing. And then, that's how you do it. And then,
because like, I mean, one of the big examples of that is John Cena, he comes in generic babyface, and then he does the turn, and then that's when it goes well for him. When he does the turn and he turns back. Talk
Yeah,
about
because
yeah,
it lets him develop a character and become someone by being heel, right? That's
yeah.
kind of like it lets you kind of be yourself.
You
And speaking of John Cena, it's a good segue. Let's talk about like the state of business in the U.S. So, what did you think about the all the weekend activity last weekend for like AEW and WWE?
okay? So I think yesterday I did the whole review of ROH AEW. So I'll do like a digest version. I liked Super Card of Honor. It was
That was a
pretty
great
much
show. That was a great show.
lots of good wrestling, lots of good action. Like that fatal four way for the women's TV title, that was excellent. Um, Shame about Mina breaking her hand at All In, because I think like definitely Tony has something in mind for her to give her those big spots. Um, I
And
did
Shuri's fucking up her elbow too.
oh yeah, so coming in, then oh, she's out. And then like when I think about like Ring of Honor, I also think of like, Dustin had I'm a big Dustin fan. I grew up like he was one of my first guys. It was Dustin, Stunning Steve, Cactus Jack. Those are my guys. Ron Simmons growing up, and to see him like go from there.
The natural Dustin Rose.
Yeah,
Yes.
they call him the natural, as natural as can be. I love that song too. And like seeing him, like he has like a pep in his step. He's had pep in his step, but like the tag team with Sammy works. It really works. And like then you see him like then he gets the 0 hour match, and then like the unannounced fatal four way, and he wins in a fatal four way. I thought that was cool, like as a like full circle kind of thing. I think like we're talking about Fletcher. This is going to be used to put over Kyle Fletcher.
It made a lot of sense. We'll talk a little bit about All In when we get there, but yeah, I mean, it made a lot of sense for the way they were booking that show. That show, so Ring of Honor has finally, to me, right, the identity for Ring of Honor should be really them working closely with CML and turning it into like a touring brand for CMML and AEW talent to run small shows all over the place in like lucha towns. Because really, it's fucking cool. Like those shows. If you're telling me a show's coming to town and it's Bandito and we're gonna get like Mascara Dorada and we're gonna get like Takeshita or like Mark Briscoe, fuck, I want to see that show. Yeah. Don't you want to see that show?
If you look at their YouTube, I was talking with Ian Riccaboni about this. Like he kept pushing for AEW, Tony Khan to put their shows on YouTube, right? Yeah. So what the shows they have put on YouTube are all the CMLL co-branded shows. If you notice, like the full shows they post. I think last week they just posted all the big CMLL ROH matches from that whole week of Grand Slam. They posted it for free on their YouTube, and like, yeah, having that kind of identity, it's kind of what. And it's funny because that was ROH's identity before 2020. Is they dropped the New Japan partnership and they really went full in with CMLL, and and like going the whole lucha route. I think it's pretty. When people think about pro wrestling in America, they think about a lot of things, but they also think about the lucha libre imagery, and lucha just works.
I think one of the really important things is Bandito's a superstar, right? He is like, I don't think people understand the fact that like CML was like, we're going to give Bandito, like I was watching that match with like Mystico, I'm like, what the fuck's gonna happen? Because my brain would not compute that CML was going to give Bandito a clean pin in Arena Mexico on Mystico. I was like, and it happened. I was like, my brain's like, what? Yeah. How do I get this? Because my brain is like, no, he can't fucking pin Mystico.
Because I thought he was gonna get the Dorada pin, close it out, but I was like, holy shit!
He can't. Like I'm like, but they can't pin hologram because like TK hasn't pinned hologram. So what the fuck is gonna happen? Yeah. Like I was like, they're not gonna give the first pin on hologram to CML, and then like he gets the pin on Mystico. I'm like, holy shit! Like, and really, if you go back to that weekend, like there was a very clear intention in that week in Mexico where like I think CML is like, no, Bandito's like a superstar and he's gonna be like, I think that like CMLL and AEW both think that Bandito is the next guy, right, in Mexico, and clearly the crowds think he's the next guy, and he's fucking incredible, and like as I said, like what AEW and ROH and ROH and CML need to be doing is they need to be doing live shows built around Bandito and Mexico and Dorada and like Takeshita and like all these guys like have these like they don't need to go like well like 1,000 2,000 seat arenas kind of like that and like do like 10 or 15 shows a year, right? One show a month, like a super show, and just keep doing those. Put those on YouTube because having that shit on YouTube is great, right? Because it like gets it like people see it. But go to these towns like, run towns in Texas, run towns in Oklahoma. They need to run San Diego again. That show in San Diego, like the San Diego show, the energy, like with the crazy like army guys and the Marine guys, run San Diego, run those towns, run like come to Puerto Rico and run a fucking show. Run shows in places that like are gonna get hot. Like I was saying,
can they run Puerto Rico or is that like fully Titan Sports?
But they can. I mean, like they can just talk. I'm pretty sure like they just talk to Sabio. Like the thing about Puerto Rico is like they don't have to run the big arena in Puerto Rico. Like if you're gonna run, like the thing people don't know in Puerto Rico still gets like a couple like 2,000, 3,000, even 4,000 shows a month. Like in terms of like it's like so I don't need to run in Puerto Rico in the big arena in San Juan. There's like there's a full-on baseball league in Puerto Rico. There's a basketball league in Puerto Rico. There's like a 5,000 seat arena. Like there's like 5,000 seat arenas. I'm on the west side of the island, like 15 minutes from my house. So like they can find a place where they can run like a cool small show in Puerto Rico, everywhere, right? So you can just run a show, but again, like I'm saying, like run these shows that are like geared towards like small room shows, like the kind of shows they're running on TV now. But like do it for the Lucha guys because I do think that like the thing that's been really interesting with AEW, right, is that. And I made this point, which is, I think they were getting bad advice when it was WBD. WBD was telling them to be more like WWE. And the moment they went to HBO, and we'll get into that in a second, but HBO is the best TV partner you can have, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think HBO is getting the streaming numbers, which are minute to minute. Like the thing about the difference between Nielsen and streaming is the streaming numbers are actuals, not estimates. Whereas Nielsen is like they put their finger in the air and guess. Like, no. HBO knows what the fuck is going on. And if you look at these shows, it very much looks like HBO is saying, we want more Hangman, we want more Tony, we want more Lucha people, right?
Yeah, it definitely feels like that.
Give me Tony doing hot things. Give me Hangman and Swerve doing, like, being cool and, like, hot guys. Get rid of all the old peoples, and I want a lot of Lucha guys and big action tags. Yeah. And there's, like, a shift, like, around January when they got Jeff Jarrett off TV where, like, the shows started feeling a lot more... It's very different. They look honestly. They have a bit more like the U.S. The Lucha Wrestling feel more like the CML shows. Bigger presence. A lot of the big action tags. Tony coming out like being the hottest thing on the show. Yeah. Hangman opening all these shows because like now Hangman's the guy who comes out and opens the shows and so like they're getting the right advice. It's really kind of interesting. Yeah. And
the thread of Jeff Jarrett, man. I think we were talking about this like 6 months ago. We were talking about how much AEW was becoming like TNA of like the 2000s, and like people were like hating on us, but I was like, no, this feels we're pushing like these old names that were here that were names elsewhere. All this stuff,
and then because they were getting I think they were getting bad advice from WWE who wanted to be like, and I think Tony was doing it for the TV deal, and he was trying to do be more like a Bloodline or do like and. Once they got into HBO and once they started getting the streaming numbers and the streaming numbers, by the way, people really underestimate how good these streaming numbers are. What people don't understand, and I think I've talked Dave around to this because I've been sending I've talked to him on Twitter, I've talked to him on the board, and I've said look, if you look at the households, like HBO keeps growing and growing and growing, and HBO isn't fucking Peacock. Like my mother, who's 78 years old. Fucking uses HBO on her iPad, right? Yeah. My dad watches shit on HBO, right? Not on HBO on TV. He watches it on streaming. Like people, if there is a streamer that people watch and people use, it's fucking HBO. Yeah. And like I said, like, and I was telling Dave, it's like, look, talk to anybody, talk to all your friends. If they have the option, anybody who you know who watches AEW who has Max is probably watching it on fucking Max, right? Yeah. So like it was kind of
also very beautiful on like.
Well,
Max.
yeah, but like. But if I'm paying for HBO, right?
Yeah.
If you're a person who pays for HBO, are you watching HBO? Yes, you are. You're watching Game of Thrones. You're watching House of Dragons. You're watching you're watching like White Lotus. You're watching something on fucking HBO.
Yeah.
And if you talk to people who have it, everyone who can watches on HBO, and like there's articles out there saying that like Collision is doing 1 million if you count the entire week.
Yeah.
Collision does 1 million views easy because Collision is a show, and there's metrics out there for that. Where like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't watch Collision in real time; they watch it on Sunday, they watch it during the week at some point. So it ends up being to 1 million, and like in Dynamite's closer to like the 1.5 when you include the entire week. Now also WWE grows. But like I was having an argument with the Voices of Wrestling folks. I was arguing with Rich, and Rich was like, "Oh, but if like all these people are watching on streaming, where are the numbers?" Well, fucking All In, and fucking All In set pay-per-view records.
Yeah.
And like if you're watching the streaming on HBO now, like there's no like if you watch these shows, one way to tell if a show is doing good is the commercials, right?
Yeah.
If the commercials are all house commercials, so like if you're watching something on TBS and all the commercials are for TBS shows, then that show's doing shit. Now, if you're watching the show and all the commercials are like for pharmaceuticals, cellular phones, movies,
there's lots of
like,
Tide commercials now.
Yeah, like there's like no house shows, and like you notice that all the big movies, WWE is doing crossover promotions directly on Dynamite.
Yeah,
right?
Superman
got a promotion. The Minecraft movie got a cross promotion. Like, and they're doing well too. It's like so like. There's every indication that HBO goes like, no, this does really good fucking numbers for us, and like, and you can kind of starting to see it like everywhere else. They're kind of like, it's a hot, cool promotion now, and they've gotten to the point where like you're watching it and it's wildly. You're starting to see this on like, there's like I get like a new YouTube WWE streamer going like, what is his name? Mecha Wolf. Mecha Wolf actually put a thing out yesterday saying that like WWE's lost them. Mecha Wolf's the guy who did the Roman Reigns.
Eye Patch Wolf. Super Eye Patch Wolf.
Super Eye Patch Wolf did the thing with, he said yesterday, he put a video out saying that WWE has lost him. That he, like, the WrestleMania, he hated the WrestleMania. It's like, so, like, there's real discontent because, like, again, it's, part of the thing is you want to look cool and different. And, like, doing all these nostalgia acts was, like, really fucking not. Like, now you watch AEW and it's like, you know, you have hot women graphs. You have luchadors flying all over the place. You have hot, young, handsome wrestlers who are really good workers. Like Swerve's the new guy. Hangman's young. Ospreay, like guys who you haven't seen on TV before. Like it was really shocking to me that All In moved to 30,000 seats without announcing Jericho or Cope.
Yeah.
Now Cope showed up, but they weren't announced, right? So you ran this show, and none of the nostalgia acts were fucking announced.
I do also want to say they announced Mystical the week beforehand, and then tickets moved like.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that like a lot of credit. If I'm giving credit to that, Mox deserves shit ton of credit.
Mox is so good. Mox was so good in this last bit.
No, see, and I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna piss people off in Social Suplex, and it's like, but Mox deserves credit because he's the one who rehabbed Hangman.
Oh.
When AEW wanted nothing to do with Hangman, Mox is the one who says, "I'm working with Hangman." And the first like that first feud is where kind of like he works Hangman, right? And at the end of that feud, he sets up Hangman to work with who is Mox's favorite wrestler. He said this in interviews. Swerve is his favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
So it goes into Hangman, then Swerve, and then he brings him back full circle to actually put him over. And it's kind of a beautiful thing because like he puts him over clean, and the layout of that match is so good. Like now we're talking about the main event of All In, like the way Mox in that main event, like it's basically like a bizarro version of the WrestleMania 40 main event, where like all these fucking run-ins and do that. But like the run-ins in that All In main event are all set up to get Hangman back to even. They're not set up to put him over. Like Hangman isn't getting an unfair advantage from the run-ins. It's just people are running in to prevent Mox, who's the heel, from getting an unfair advantage.
Yeah. They're running defense.
Right, and then Hangman still has to beat Mox clean as a babyface. So it's a beautiful match. Like the layout is really fucking cool because it just does everything to put Hangman over.
Yeah.
And then it's also there's a lot of really cool things because like that match, the way it kind of progresses, Mox's kind of like character is kind of evolved. Like so, the first part of the match is Mox tries to beat Hangman clean, right?
Yeah.
Mox tries to win and beat Hangman by himself, and then he goes, "Shit, I can't beat this guy." And then he starts involving Marina and like the interference, and he calls for the troops. It's a really kind of very interesting way to kind of lay out a match. and then like the baby faces come in to kind of keep it even. And so like it's a really well laid out kind of show.
Yeah.
I also love one thing I loved about that show, and I don't know if you noticed it. They very specifically had a plan to have that main event go against Saturday night's main event, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I noticed it halfway through the show, and I'm like, people are like, no, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, Kenny, like this match, this is gonna set up, and Kenny and Okada are gonna end up at 8:00, and they ended up at 8:00 on the dot. To the point, like if you watch that match, like 3 minutes before 8, like is when Don Callis does the run in. So I figured he got a time cue on the headset, went in to do that, and they went into the closing sequence and ended at 8 on the dot. You literally watch that show, and like they end at 8 so that the main event and all the introductions go off when Saturday Night. It's great. It's fucking great.
That's old school. That's so old school.
It's very old school. And like they were in trouble early. People were complaining about the men's match early, but they were clearly stretching on that match because they knew that Cole couldn't go. So like you're watching that early men's match, and they're doing everything they can to get an extra 10 minutes out of that match. So it's like that match was so weird.
Yeah, and the gauntlet, like they're everybody's doing their full entrance. Guys are pausing for time, doing like Royal Rumble, like we're brawling in the corner spots.
They're literally like they're getting stretched. Everything kind of like is until the Dustin win, which by the way, the Dustin win was a masterstroke because effectively, I mean, they were probably Kyle was probably going to win, right?
Yeah.
But once Cole is out and you got to do the retirement and everyone's so emotional, you got to do something to kind of reset the floor. Yeah. And that Dustin win was so good, right?
Yeah.
It was like Dustin winning and crying, just kind of just let go of that because I mean I may not be an Adam Cole fan, right? I'm not. But I mean I like some of Cole's stuff. I like the stuff he was doing in tags. I just don't think he can work singles anymore.
Yeah.
But I was like really sad that like he just it's not because the dude tries,
He tries. And it's out of his hands. I'm saying this right because I'm kind of a notorious Adam Cole hater, right? But like every time he's going to like he's about to hit his stride, right? Because I feel like he was about hitting his stride in the tag matches, somewhat in the singles, but like in the tags he was hitting his stride. So for him to come like when he first did the returns and like everybody was hating on him with, the Malachi Black match, the Buddy Matthews match where the crowd turns on him, and then like to come back and then the tag matches kind of saved him. I feel
with the horrible. Remember the horrible spray tan?
Oh yeah, the spray tan over the knee pads. It's just, he should be like
so. Adam Cole should be working like Shibata.
Yeah,
that's the best use. That's the best use. Like I think like when he comes back, he should be used as Shibata. Yeah. Where like he's cool, people like him. He doesn't work. He works tags. He works trios. He shows up as kind of a change of pace.
If he works a singles match, it's an easy.
Yeah, I mean, I actually think Shibata is safer. This is weird to say, but I think Shibata is safer to work. Shibata is more capable of working a singles match than Adam Cole. I think now he can. Yeah. Because again, Shibata is style. I mean, obviously he isn't working the style he used to work like 5 or 6 years ago. But he isn't doing stuff that like kind of hurts him. I do think that like Cole tries to do stuff with his body can't handle, right?
Yeah,
because if you think about it, he got hurt. The supposed injury was on a clothesline. If you think about the last time he had a concussion, he got hurt on a Rainmaker.
Yeah,
right?
Like a whipped Rainmaker too. Like I think it was like the whiplash that got him, because he got him like for the Rainmaker, he ducked and then like he was just out. So it's kind of weird, like what kind of things have happened to him. And I'm gonna put a pause here because I gotta fix my microphone real quick. Talking about like All In, I do think like what they did that finish for Hangman and Mox, where Mox is like, well, I'll set up the finish, like Swerve throws him the chain. That's all Swerve does.
But yeah, no, every little interference was great. I love the Nana bit. Like the one thing actually that was really interesting to me, and I said this, and people got a little mad. And one of my was like it reminded me a lot of Despi Jun Kasai, not the one from this, the one like before, in the sense that like there are a lot of little spots that they set up. Like there's obviously the deathmatch feel, but like a lot of those spots with the anticipation, like putting the chair in the corner, right?
Oh yeah.
And the bed of nails, and just kind of working. We're gonna or the grass. We're gonna work to this spot. Obviously, they can't get as bloody or as dirty as that match got, but there was a lot of like that going on, and the violence, and I thought it was great. I thought the choke cell was awesome.
Oh god, you know, like the way he's doing it, right? So he's getting choked, and the part is he's so scared he can't figure out how to tap out. He's trying to tap out, but he can't.
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't want to.
He
I
doesn't
think
want
like
to.
Mox is selling it like it's something that he's involuntary. He doesn't like. He is like losing himself when he taps because
Yeah.
it's not something he would rather like. But like he'd rather die, but his survival instinct takes
Yeah.
over and he taps out at the end.
Because he's
very
like,
desperate. It's very good.
yeah, he's like tapping his chest, like, how? What am I doing? What am I doing? What the hell am I doing? What the? Is it okay? Fuck it. And then he still passes out, and like when like Hangman lets go of the choke and like Mox just dies, face for does like a flare flop. I thought that was excellent because Mox loves to do that stuff. Like Mox loves the little things like that.
No, I think Mox. Somebody was like and laid this out, and I think Albert said this. I like and kind of give him credit, which is, and I said this. I think that like if you think about Death Riders, right?
Yeah.
It's actually funny to look back at this angle because like when they started, they're like the whole point was like, oh, the people who are working the mains in AEW aren't worth like it's the Kenny rant about firing 80% of you, but he was like working against like the fucking like the Geek Squad, right? So like Private Party and like the Dork Order and like all these guys and like all these guys are gone from fucking TV, right?
Yeah.
So he did what he said he was going to do. He drove all the geeks away. He got all the geeks away. He said he was going to make everybody step up to a next level. They did. And eventually one of them stepped up and beat him. And like, if you think about it, it is kind of, in hindsight, a bit of a tweener gimmick. And I think actually the way that's going to end up a little bit is I do think eventually what this ends up, it's like, I think Mox is going to end up eventually getting turned on. That's, I think, where this is going. But like, if you think about it, it's a really kind of well laid out because they completely changed the main event scene and set up like this new main event scene that's hot and vibrant. It's going to go forward for the next, few years. And I think that's actually like a really good thing. I have a question for you, right?
Yeah.
Who is Hangman facing at Forbidden Door? I have a thought, but I'll let you kind of guess.
Okay. Because if it's me, right, if I'm really wanting to get him to do something, I would have him face Soberano Jr. That's who I.
What about Naito?
Oh fuck! He is in London that week.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's in London. It's like I see him taking bookings. I think Naito taking bookings in London. I'm like, what the fuck is this motherfucker taking bookings in London?
Yeah.
Like somebody was throwing it out for the discourse, and like the discourse would be like if it's Kid Ospreay and like Naito Hangman and like Mox Sack, that's like peak fucking discourse, right?
That's like, but again, gonna get so many of the right people mad.
Yeah, it would get so many fucking people. Like if you wanted to get people pissed, that's the show you fucking run. Now I don't think I do think that like, I mean I think that Hangman could do like. Somebody suggested Hangman Take, but I don't want to put it. I can't put a pin on Take doing. It's tricky. Like that's what I said. Like Naito. Yeah. I mean, if it's politically feasible, then like it might be a good play because then you don't have to put it. This show being a week after the G1 final makes it kind of really interesting. How the fuck do you build? I know. I mean, like my guess has always been Ishii's going to be the one who's going to be on TV.
Yeah,
and my guess has always been. Well, no, my guess is always going to be that FTR is. I think FTR is winning the IWGP tag belts. That's like I think that's like my. I would bet hard money on them winning the IWGP tag belts, right? Because I think that like that's I think the easiest match to forecast is like Ishii's going to work and he's going to lose the tag belt, and it's probably going to be FTR who kind of needs something to do at like a top level as the best team in the world, right?
Taichi and Ishii versus FTR, that'd be a pretty good match, honestly.
No, I'm thinking like a 3-way or 4-way. So like throw in a couple more tags.
Yeah,
throw in a couple more tags.
Maybe
throw in Jet Speed,
Niebla Roja and what's his name? That tag team.
Yeah, you could throw in Titanes Ferrari or something.
Yeah, Niebla Roja
and Ferrari, and then throw in like Jet Speed, and then FTR, and or throw in Leo and Andretti. Where actually like Leo Andretti is the other guy who looked like a star in Mexico was Leo looked like a star in Mexico
because he looked like that one singer, right? What's his name?
But he was really fucking good work. Like that week left me thinking that Leo should get a run in CMLL and like be like do the Rocky thing for a year in CMLL. He would do really well. right?
Yeah.
Because he's got that energy where like that old school like gringo heel energy that like just like the Mexican fans would love to fucking boo him, right? And here's the thing, and Andretti's actually gotten to the point like people who haven't been watching Andretti's actually gotten really fucking good, right?
Yeah.
He's
Talking
actually another
about
guy.
yeah, he's another guy who became a man, like you were saying earlier.
Yeah, he just but he's also got like the shit heel kind of thing. It's
Yeah,
good. It's like
it works.
it's a little bit like that Ren Narita thing, right? It's like
Yeah.
sometimes sometimes these kids don't like. I can think of like Dante. Dante Martin never really got there. Danny Garcia sadly hasn't gotten to be that thing. But like,
Yeah.
Marco Andretti, Nick Wayne, Kyle Fletcher, were like all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, this guy looks like a real fucking deal, right? Like, let's do some shit with this guy. Like Leo's small, but Leo's got that like shit heel kind of asshole energy that I think would just goes lovely in Mexico, right?
If we're talking about tag teams, also, I don't know like how healed up Luchasaurus is, but Jurassic Express coming back as faces.
Well, no, I've been saying for, and you haven't been saying to you, but I'm saying places we used to hang out together that like Jack Perry has to come back with tights, right?
Yeah.
You got to wear the jungle text, Jack. It's like, no, yeah, I mean, like like Jurassic Express, like as faces would fucking rock, right?
Right now, and my gosh, they'd be incredible. It's especially like because I don't know who got into Jack Sear about wrestling the way he's been wrestling, about trying to be Raven and Bray Wyatt. It's so weird because he could be tremendous when he wants to be.
Again, the biggest mistake they've made. Well, you know what? It's not a mistake. I understand why they did it. I was giving them credit before. It's like they tried with guys, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes the problem with Jack Perry's always been that like Jack Perry was a money draw. Like as a babyface, Ricky Morton, he was built to be Ricky Morton. Like you're selling babyface apparel. Jack Perry was awesome at it. The girls fucking loved it. You never should have stopped doing it. You should have just kept him in a tag team and kept him in a tag team and kept him in a tag team because shit, squeals. I was like, it's like the squeals when you can like, he would come out. I remember I went to Full Gear Live, right? There's the Luchasaurus Jack Perry match. And I was jeering Jack Perry the whole time, right? I was like, fuck him up, Luchasaurus, fuck him up. I'm like, and I could tell Jack Perry was over because every single teenage girl in that arena was giving me the evil eye. They wanted to kill me because I was like, no, I mean, you're doing it right because, and they never should have gone away from that with Jack Perry because this is where I think AEW has figured it out finally, where like the presentation now is presentation that's geared to like the old school kind of audience that went away, which is like the worst thing WWE ever did. But WWE made this very teenage boy, young adult male product.
Yeah.
And they stopped catering to the women. The women like the horned up shit. Like, and I don't mean this in a bad way. Like, we talk to women who like watch wrestling and they want Hangman and Swerve and they want like the sexual tension between Hangman and Swerve and they want the blood and they want Mox being like a dirty motherfucker. Like, they like this shit, right?
Yeah.
They want to see Jack getting his ass kicked and coming. Like, these are things that sell to like different audiences and crowds. And then like the more mature stuff also sells. Like, I saw this great video, right?
Yeah.
This one WWE fan who like, this is great video. He watched All In and he was like, fuck, I've been wrong for 25 years. Because like, and again, he was kind of saying, it's like, I've been watching kind of the kiddie version of this shit, right? And then I get into watching like All In and All In isn't treating me like a fucking kid.
Yeah.
They aren't like feeding me these things like it's a crick. It isn't like one of the things that like I call it the Dora the Explorer kind of storytelling method, where like if you ever watch kids shows, they're always repeating the points because the kids don't have like the short-term memory. So you have to repeat the point like over and over and over and over again. So WWE does that. They repeat the point over and over again because they're treating you, it's for you, like for an audience that isn't, they're treating you like a less mature audience, where like AEW will tell you the story in a much more mature way.
Yeah.
And I think like if you're like 40 something and you come in, there's a couple things that are really appealing if you're 40 something. I was like, I think I like, we'll get into like, and one thing is they're telling you a story that's much more adult and like with real violence and real stakes and real characters.
Yeah.
Also, and I think this is important, the women look like real women, right?
Yeah.
They're hot, but they also don't look like plastic. They look like Tony Storm looks like a real fucking woman, right?
Yeah, their makeup is really good in there. Um,
Well, no, but I mean also the body types. The body
the body
types,
types,
like
yeah. I mean, like,
like
cause
Thunder Rosa's gotten older, but Thunder Rosa still got it, man.
I mean, yeah, of course she does.
I mean, but here's the thing: would WWE ever put Thunder Rosa in a feature spot in one of the pay-per-views?
No, she'd be wearing a referee outfit right now if she went to
Yeah, because
WWE.
but I mean, I'm like, like would Mama Wayne get a feature spot on
Oh,
TV?
oh my God, the tits. My God, that promo. That I know, like Nick cut a good promo, but like all I could stare at is his mom's like chest,
Well,
like the whole time.
but did you notice that they had Mama Wayne on the one side and they had Kip looking hot on the other end too.
Yeah.
So like there was something for
They're
something for
appealing
everybody.
for
There was something for
everybody.
everybody.
Oh, Kip
Like, yeah.
Sabian, man, that's a. I love that he's getting a spot right now to cut these promos and to be
No,
like,
Kip. I've always liked Kip. Kip is always like a guy who in certain spots is like very useful, right? I
Yeah.
like him. He's got good energy. He brings his A game. But I mean, the point being that like it's just a much like it's much more real looking. And I was gonna ask you what do you think about Tony and Monet?
so that's actually my match of the show for All In. For me, right? So like the work. When I watch pro wrestling, and if I see like a little bit of like run-ins and interference stuff, it kind of like takes a little bit away from me. There was none of that in this match. This was also like probably the best built feud for the entire All In card, as outside of Hangman Mox.
Oh yeah, I love
Hangman
this
Mox.
feud. I love these two.
Cause like it started back when like she teased challenging her like at the during the Owen, like the beginning of the Owen. She was there to watch the match, and then just to have like the entrances, the whole promos where they're like shading each other, the violence. My wife liked the match actually when I was watching it back with her. She was like, "Oh, they're wearing sparkly costumes. It's all good."
One thing that I really liked about that match, and I haven't seen people mention, is like so Tony walks in, she's got the clown makeup on, right?
Yeah.
And so if you notice that match, they did something because like both their makeup came off, right? I think the clothes they were wearing was taking the makeup off. So as the match is going on, like Tony starts working, she starts working. She's got a little bit of that comedy Terry Funk thing going on early,
Yeah.
and as the makeup starts coming off, right, the match gets progressively more serious and more violent, right?
It's like when
And
Sting,
so by
and Muda
by
would
the
lose
end,
their face paint during the match.
but by the end, like Tony and Monet both have no makeup on,
Yeah.
right? Their makeup is gone,
Yeah.
and they're just wailing the fuck. Like Tony's nose is broken, she's bleeding, shit's flying, like, and it's a really cool, well laid out match
It's
where like the work just gets sicker and sicker and more violent, and like I also felt that match is a little bit like the stat Monet. To Monet's credit, Monet's so good because I felt like Tony and Monet left like 30% in the bag. That was not their best match.
Which is crazy.
They had this insane match, well laid out, well told to the story, and they left me going like, no, these two girls, we're gonna get another match with these women, and it's gonna be more violent and it's gonna be more epic. It's kind of like it's the same way. Like this is the thing with Monet. Monet does this really great job. She did it with Stat. She did it with Willow. Where like, and she actually annoyingly she did it with like Bakara, but we never got the comeback.
Yeah.
Where like she lays this first match out, and you're like, nobody really does that. I think Monet might be the best at this. Where like she has this first match, which is great, but it sets the seed, right, for like the next 2 or 3 matches with this person. Where like you're like, fuck, right? And as I said, like it's like and honestly, we were arguing about like who was going to be like the wrestler of the year, and
it might be. It's so close
to me. It's like it's some combination of Hangman, Tony, and I always forget the name of the Stardom girl. What's her name?
Which one? It's Sari. It's
no, not Saray. No, Saya.
Okay. Yeah.
That and Mystical. Some combination of those 4 people.
Yeah.
And you can talk me. I think it's gonna be Hangman, but you could talk me into Tony, or you could talk me into Mystical, or you could talk me into the Star. It's because nobody's over like Tony, right? It's really kind of, it's just insane. She just walks out.
Yeah.
And the crowds are just like rabid for her. I like people like.
It's earned, man. It's so earned too. It's like
And you can tell that Max is going like, give us more. They're like I joke that they're pressing the Hangman and Tony buttons. Give us more Hangman, give us more Tony.
Agree.
And she's just so good.
Yeah,
Right?
and like you were saying earlier, they do press on the more mature storyline, the more mature storytelling. Especially with her, it's overt sexuality. I
But
mean,
she was talking about bending Athena over the table.
yeah, it's it's not TV, it's HBO, and
Yeah,
like,
it's not TV.
oh, I know, man.
She's
Just
great.
the thought of Athena and Tony actually clashing.
By the way, what did you?
It's
The women's gauntlet was really fucking good.
it was the ending stretch was like insane, like because you didn't know like everything's happening all at once. I love that kind of like chaos. Whereas the men's one, it's like, okay, we gotta make this stretch this out as long as we can. They still did that in the women's one, where like I think it
Well,
was
no, the women's. I think the women's was well laid out, and
yeah,
they weren't rushing. Like, so they'd
yeah,
already made back their time cues, and they were basically at that point they were basically going to go. They were going to let Omega and Okada stretch the match out, which
yeah.
is what happened.
They could
They're
like, and those are two guys who like know how to work.
they
That.
can, yeah. If they need to work an hour, they can fucking work an hour, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so like switching gears. So we talked about AEW. One thing I didn't want to mention about AEW that I'm like one thing I'm worried about with AEW. As I said, they've moved to a more action-oriented product. Lucha, the women, Hangman, like the young kind of hot dudes doing cool things.
I'm so looking forward to Swerve and Okada.
I think Adam Copeland. I think Adam Copeland's expiration date in AEW is way past, and I don't know how they're going to keep Adam Copeland on TV because he is the antithesis of everything they're trying to do. In that he's old, he's not going to put anybody over. He's not cool. He's not different. And so, like...
Yeah, if I compare them to, like, you know, Hurt Syndicate and Christian, I still think that Christian and the Hurt Syndicate can contribute in some ways, whereas Adam Copeland is kind of like...
Well, no, see, the Social Suplex, like, I've heard, like, hate on, like, the Syndicate, and I actually, like... I'm the opposite because I think they're like, oh, why weren't they selling for Private Party? Because Private Party are fucking geeks.
They're geeks, right? And they sold for Jet Speed.
Hurt Syndicate should not be selling for geeks.
Yeah, they sold for Jet Speed. They sold for Christian and Wayne.
The Road Warriors would have taken the Private Party and stacked them up like cordwood and asked for a 5 count in the middle of the ring after pinning them in 5 minutes. Like, don't give me the shit about Private Party. Like, here's the thing. I thought they give a lot to Colton and the Guns. I thought they gave a shit ton to Jet Speed. But here's the thing. I do think Jet Speed deserved to get a shit ton from Hurt Syndicate. I think that, like, I hated Mike. I did not like Speedball Mike Bailey when he was in TNA because I thought he was wrongly used. I think Mike Bailey's been a revelation since he's come into like AEW because Mike Bailey, like Speedball, is a guy, right, who is perfect for getting everybody over. Like every match that I see Speedball in, he's letting the other guy get his shit in, making the other guy look good, works his match, delivers a great match, exciting. He's great. It's the exact kind of person you want. And Kevin Knight, I'm like, I can't believe like New Japan couldn't do shit with Kevin Knight because both those guys have been great. And I thought they did a very perfect babyface angle. Then they got the heat back on them. The Syndicate sold for them. And really, they've established Jet Speed as like a real thing and act. And people love them, right? And so I'm not mad at all. Like, I think Hurt Syndicate sold for the people they need to sell to. And like eventually they're gonna lose, right? But they shouldn't be selling to some of these fucking geeks, right?
Yeah, they really it really shouldn't be because here's how I feel like because you get these people complaining about selling, right? Complaining about like how they don't do enough. I'm like, they sell for the people that deserve to be sold for. I was talking about this with this other guy. Shout out to you, Curry Goat, about like how they're in there. They're very over. They work when they want to work. They're gonna work and make you look because when they make you look good, they look good. Because they did make Sammy and Dustin look like world beaters for a little bit. They sell their asses off for Jet Speed, which is ridiculous because of how much bigger they are than Jet Speed. But they're flying around on those drop kicks, and it's just like.
Well, but MVP, it's the thing. I think MVP gets it, and he knows the people he should be selling for. He knows the people he should be putting over.
Yeah.
Private Party, the Guns, some of those guys, particularly if exclusive access because they're leaving to NXT, right? Yeah. If they're fucking leaving, you probably shouldn't be putting and they gave him a little bit, but they should be going over them strong, right? Yeah. Like that's the old school of the business, like the dominant like big boy tag beats the shit out of the small face team, particularly if it's a small face team that's leaving the territory. Like
Yeah.
people, they don't deserve. Like Pride Party does not deserve it. I'm sorry, but they don't. Right? They shouldn't. They shouldn't be getting it. And like I think Jet Speed does, and I think that Christian and Nick Wayne got some too.
Yeah.
And so now that they're working more serious tags, they're gonna it's gonna kind of shift a little bit more. I do think eventually what's gonna happen with them is they're gonna. I'm interested to see who's gonna, because I do think that we're gonna get two tag belts. As I said, we're gonna get two tag belts on TV. It's gonna be the AEW and the IWGP. I think it's what's gonna happen at least through the end of the year. We're gonna have two belts set up. But
I think if I see any like tag teams, like homemade tag teams in AEW rising up, I think the Ricochet Gates of Agony pairing is gonna go really well for them.
okay. So my take on Ricochet is Ricochet is going to challenge Hangman probably after MJF or before. So
Probably.
I think Ricochet and MJF are the two programs that are on the queue for Hangman, right?
Those are gonna be excellent.
So Hangman's going to get whoever is going to get Forbidden Door, right? So he's going to have a Forbidden Door program, and then MJF. But MJF is doing a Burno and whatever the Universadio thing is first.
Yeah.
With Mystico, and then Ricochet's probably I don't know if Ricochet goes in before MJF. It depends on how they do the Universadio thing and the Averno thing.
Yeah.
But Ricochet's the guy who's being set up to be a Hangman challenger, and then I think after that, then you're thinking that then you start getting into I don't know. I mean Fletcher I think is going to win the TNT, so he's not available. Takeshita, you might get a Takeshita program. It depends on how the Takeshita thing is going to play out, because they're going to.
It could lead honestly, him losing the title shot could be a good way to segue him to the face turn with Don Callis being like, these are two world title shots that you failed me in.
Well, but again, I think the thing is, so is Takeshita winning the G1 or not, right? So
yeah, that's
if
all
you
contingent
think,
on stuff like that.
If you think Takeshita is winning the G1, right, and then maybe he's getting a shot, another play you could do, you could have Takeshita win the G1, but then he also beats Sack, or maybe he beats Tsuji in the final, and then he beats Sack at Forbidden Door. So Sack Take is your Forbidden Door match. Take wins the IWGP at Forbidden Door and then turns, but that's kind of fucked because then you don't get the win. Wouldn't New Japan do that? But they might, because they've done that shit before, but they should, because you don't want to get your whoever if Taka's gonna win the New Japan title, it should be do it on it's fucking, you're gonna have a Wrestle Kingdom on national TV. Do it there, right? Yeah. Put it on TV, so do it in the big spots so you can kind of do that. I mean, if you're going to do a switch before Forbidden Door, it's gonna be on the heel side, right? Yeah. So which is why I was saying, hey, maybe it's Mox, maybe it's somebody else, or it's just Sack goes all the way because you don't want. Must we?
Yeah, it was a big weekend for them.
I wanna say something about WWE. I have never been as disconnected or disinterested. Well, I think disinterested in the WWE product as I am now. There's been times where I haven't been watching, but if you said, "Oh, let's watch the Rumble," I was like, "Okay, let's watch the Rumble," right?
Yeah.
So even in the dark eras, but right now, it's so boring and uncool, right?
Yeah.
It's old guys who are working this very bad house style, and it's just not interesting to me, right? In any way, shape, or form. But I'll let you do it.
God. So, I mean, let's talk about the day of shows, because they went heads up with All In with two shows. Saturday night's main event, and they got Big Dave really mad to the point where he fucking killed him when he gave him ratings. Oh God, yeah. The NXT show was early. I think it was 12 o'clock, trying to be on the same time.
Yeah, it was going on at the same time as 0 Hour, basically.
Yeah, 0 Hour, and I mean, you talk about a fall from grace. You talk about living and being cursed to a life of mediocrity. We're talking about Blake Monroe. Oh my God.
No, you've seen the last promo, right? You do not deserve the dignity of death.
Yeah.
The Tony Storm promo on Mariah.
Yeah.
People will wonder. People will wonder whatever happened to Mariah May. It is that promo is one of those promos that's gonna be seen 20 years from now, oh shit, she killed her, and just if you get a little bit of the background, supposedly Mariah her parents are rich, right?
Yeah.
So she doesn't have to like. She only does it because she wants. She doesn't do this because she kind of. So she took that, and she's also got the age. She's got the same age as Punk, who's the guy the one agent who's been taking shots at Tony, and like AEW. So like she's very fed built, but they don't know how to. Basically, they just make it worse. Is really the way I kind of view it. Which is,
yeah,
and she was like teaming with what's her name
Jordan Grace.
Jordan. And she's like, why is she babyface? I'm like, why the fuck is Mariah babyface?
Well, they did course correct by turning her during that match.
but why even try to make her a face?
Dude, like what's happening with NXT is it feels like a bunch of people throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. Because you have them treating the TNA guys as the faces, conquering baby faces, like. Why would you do that? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You have Trick Williams, you turned him heel to put over Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. Like, I mean,
well, I think what happens is as follows: is WWE. I think so. I was telling this to somebody. Who does WWE of the NXT guys think are people who can main event shows, and maybe we can put like the IC or the world title on them? And if I'm guessing, based on what I'm seeing. They think Ethan Page is a guy.
Yeah,
they do, and like people are like, oh, it's like, and like because Ethan Page has the right look, the right size, he can work decently enough, he can sell himself, the right pro, and honestly, remember he's like way better Austin Theory. He is way better Austin Theory.
I do gotta say this: he was much more over than Ricky at the pay-per-view. They were cheering him, doing awesome bombs through the tables
because he's got Ethan Page's got YouTuber energy. Right?
Yeah.
And YouTuber energy gets over in WWE, right?
Yeah.
And he's got decent enough work. I think they think Santana might be a guy.
Yeah. I mean, shouts to Santana. He is. I think he's pretty good.
I think Santana's they're gonna fuck up because he's Latino, but I think like
yeah.
No, but here's the thing. At worst case, Santana, you can put him in AAA. You can there's spots for you to use Santana and use him as a main event guy. I think Hendry people but Hendry's a guy. And I've always been a Hendry fan in the sense of I always remember Yoya, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like Hendry has almost a better head for handling talent sometimes than even modern day New Japan, right?
Oh man!
Because
speaking of that, Yuya did send out a give me some energy. Mike.
Yumera was like, please, I would love to because again, Hendry kind of gets and he does some of the bits you've seen where he was doing some of the bits in TNA where these are good bits, right? He's a comedy guy, but he's a comedy guy who can kind of knows how to kind of put people in the right place. And he's the kind of Hendry's the kind of guy who's perfect for the mid card. Hendry's the kind of guy who can have a 10-year run in WWE as a mid card guy, right? Because he does amusing things. He has a decent enough work, and he puts people in these. Maybe he's not the lead guy, but put him in a tag with some guys who can work, and you can do some shit with him, right?
Yeah,
so that's why they're being pushed over.
Santino Marella,
They're also not black.
Right? Oh yeah, that's the thing. If
it's really important because
if we're talking about the two guys that from AEW from NXT that I see as being something, it's Trick and Oba. But in Triple H's WWE, Trick Oba, they're not going to be.
Oba kills me because Oba Femi is a guy. Imagine Oba Femi if he got to go to Claudio school or Morto school or Gringo school. Right?
Oh, God.
Because he's got the physical. He's got. You and I have talked about Oba.
Yeah.
Oba has the physical charisma. He has the athletic ability. God, I wish he was working with somebody who knew how to fucking base.
He has
because if you could get Oba Femi basing with the kind of flyers that those guys have, he's set for his career. It'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah. Send him to Beast Mortals. Send him to Takeshita. Takeshita is becoming an extremely good base.
WWE takes things that are cool and makes them lame, and then it's just that Saturday night main event, right?
Oof.
How could you it was AEW made the right call going head to head with it because if you're paying for fucking Hangman Moxley, why in the fuck would you switch to watch Goldberg, right?
The perfect end for Goldberg was the end he got back in 2017, right? That match, the last match with Lesnar, that was just them hitting bombs on each other. Yeah. That was the perfect end.
That was a perfect Heyman kind of special where it's all big shots and big dudes, and it worked. And here's the thing, I'm the the most live crowd I ever saw. I saw Goldberg beat Hogan at the Georgia Dome. I was living in Texas. I was living in Atlanta at the time. We went to see those shows, and it was one of the most insane things I ever saw. And Goldberg was just insanely over. Physical presence, he had it. It almost like I almost feel bad. I've seen I'm the guy who thinks that like if Goldberg got like a slightly different like path, he would have been way better because like some of the Rumble and like hard like the strong style stuff he does. There's like this great match with him and like
he has a match with Satoshi Kojima that's pretty good, honestly.
Yes, no, but I think this match with what's his name? Oh, the Horseman guy who was with the Bears who just died this year. I forget his
Mongo?
name. Michael.
Yeah, just two big guys just ramming into each other. It's good.
Which is just them beating the shit out of each other and throwing themselves around tables. And there's a strong style guy I think in Goldberg that never got developed, right? And I always thought he was really good and had the ability, and he did some really good things, particularly on his comeback. But this is just like not like this is like WWE was never going to respect him and put him in a spot he should be. Yeah. And they're really kind of this SummerSlam that's coming up for them. Oof. Sounds like the shittiest show. Like Roman's back, so like what? Roman's gonna work fucking.
He's gonna work a tag match.
Braun? Like with Braun, like God, what the fuck are we? Like, honestly like, I honestly see a path to Ethan Page like WWE World Champion in a couple of years.
Yeah, because we're thinking
like there's nothing there.
If we're talking about the right now what they have for the road to SummerSlam, what they're gonna do, it's probably gonna be just Cena versus Cody's the main event. Who knows? That's already like people are played off of that. They don't care anymore. It's CM Punk versus Gunther, and people don't really care about it.
Punk has gotten so bad.
Oh God, he is in the gauntlet match, right? When Jey Uso is outperforming you in the match beforehand, it's so stupid, and like it's so funny they were making it sound like he had to fight through this gauntlet. He was the last entrant, and he won off of a distraction win, and like. He deserves it. And like it's just so bad. Who he's working, they have to slow everything down. Like Braun is usually a guy that's on full speed the whole match, and in this match he slowed everything down.
They're also, I think the critical contrast is they're not building stars, they're not building guys, and they don't have the guys they're building like what Jelly Roll and Logan Paul and all that shit, and ultimately, right? And this is really important, like. When they got to be cool again they got to be cool when they went with Cody and they went with all these new guys and they were doing slightly different things, and AEW was going big on the nostalgia and doing dumb shit and putting like old boring people on top. But now that it's switched and AEW's putting like, as I said, like look at this bench, like AEW's Hangman, Swerve, Ospreay, Fletcher, Bandito, Takeshita, right?
Yeah. Even like you think about guys who are on American TV, you got Okada on there, and Okada still looks young enough.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just a much more exciting and vibrant product, and it's different, and like things are flying. Whereas I'm tuning to WWE and I'm seeing like these boring matches, and like I'd say probably the women have the. Here's the thing, on paper, the WWE women have a deep and talented roster.
They do.
But they work really poorly agented matches.
The Io Rhea match was actually very, very good. Like
it's the rare thing where like, but most of the time Io never works at full speed, and none of the Joshies work at full speed because they don't trust them. Rhea is kind of an exception, so Rhea is kind of the exception. Maybe Lyra Valkyrie sometimes, but they also kind of like they all have like the vanilla look. They're all nobody's like nobody in WWE, and this is an ongoing thing with me. Like nobody in WWE is trained to base. Nobody can fucking base.
You would think that Rhea would be like such a good base for an EO, but they didn't wrestle that match.
Well, I'm gonna put something in your brain that's never gonna leave your brain, right? Okay. You watch WCW.
Yeah.
You know who Norman Smiley is.
Yeah.
You're familiar with Norman Smiley. You know that Norman Smiley is like the main trainer now, right?
Yeah.
So all the WWE women work like bad versions of Norman Smiley.
Which
like you know that like the little kick they do where like they put the girl in the corner, they put the head down, they do the little thing, and then they kick their leg back and go, eh! That's a Norman Smiley move.
Okay, now you're jogging my mind. Okay, thank you so much. You ruined.
Now Norman, like imagine Norman Smiley with the afro, putting his head down. He's got the little black booties and the red tights, and he's doing
God.
in the corner. And so they do all the Norman Smiley moves, but they're not as coordinated or athletic as Norman Smiley.
Because
right?
Norman Smiley
and they
is
also,
a freak of nature.
Yeah, Norman Smiley was a freak of nature. And also, for some reason, they've never been taught the bass. And if you go look back, like Norman Smiley was like a really good, I don't know why they don't teach fucking. And Hugh Morris, who was another one of those trained, is he still, I know he got fired at one point, came back, but Hugh Morris was a guy who was like, I forget what his name is. Like, I remember his shoot name. But he was like a really good bass too. It's like, I don't know why none of these girls can like bass, and they're all it's always the same fucking match. Right?
It's so weird too because like I brought his name up, like Black Magic. And he was a tremendous bass working at CMLL, working like Ultimo, working all those, and then working in WCW with all the cruiserweights. So it's like kind of like insane. Like you're there to bass and make this super fantastic athletic person like do all their moves on you, but like. I don't know. There's nobody that knows how to catch in WWE still. Not even catching on planchas. Everybody's.
Well, I think the best catcher probably like in WWE is what, like Penta, Andrade.
Well, do you know why?
Yeah, because I mean they didn't learn it there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of somebody like that's the thing. Like all the AAA guys are all flyers, not catchers. It's kind of like and Gringo is in AEW or he's working ROH, so. Fuck, and then Mortos is now in AEW too. Like, so, like, who's the best guy to catch you in AAA?
Damn. the new Taurus is all right.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, but like if I'm thinking about like, I don't really have somebody that comes to my head.
Well,
I mean,
bring it back for
Mr.
Circle. This is why
okay.
they like. This is why WWE should be talking to O'Neal Bendito. Like they should, like WWE should be trying to get his ass in to try to like keep people from dying.
I mean, they also have like El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. I'm not sure if they'll ever bring him.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he's okay. Yeah.
His brother is pretty good.
Psycho Clown, but like with Psycho, would they bring in Psycho? Psycho Clown's a good catcher. Would they bring in Psycho? I don't think they're bringing Psycho to like the roster. They should.
Psycho Clown would get over.
What do you think?
Psycho Clown would get so over with that mask. And just the vibe.
I feel like Vince Senior would automatically look at the AAA roster and go like, "We are bringing Psycho Clown into the main roster, and give him let's do the circus thing, and like just make this guy the biggest star because like it's the silly gimmick that like their fans love." George the Animal Steel as Psycho Clown.
Vincent K. McMahon would have brought in Psycho Clown like sight unseen. Like he would have been like, "Okay, that guy, he has all his little clown gimmick guys. We can make money off of this.
Like we can sell so much clown markets.
But like Triple H doesn't work on that kind. I don't know Triple H. I don't know what are the things they see to push.
Bring it back full circle, right?
Yeah.
The Super Mecha Clown thing, right? Super Mecha Wolf. So his video, he was complaining, and again, he's a hardcore WWE guy. Yeah. So his complaint was he's saying the Triple H booking is boring, right? And soulless.
We were there in 2016 NXT.
It happened. It's the same thing that happened with NXT initially, and then like eventually, just like he lost his way, he couldn't do it. He couldn't book himself. He booked himself into a corner and couldn't book himself out.
Yeah.
And then he was also complaining about like the old guys are just not interesting anymore, like Punk, and like it's just they've just gone past their expiration date, and they don't have anybody cool. Like the only answer for WWE has always been to raid, right?
Yeah.
And I think this latest version of like they raid, but they raided Ricky, but they're not going to push. They're not going to push Ricky, right?
You know why they're not going to. It's not just the size, but also like their whole vibe of the company now is they're like even getting away from a Jacob Fatu. They're kind of getting away from Bloodline. They've gotten away from Bloodline, and if you notice, all the fans have like kind of like fallen off as the Bloodline has fallen off. If you notice that.
Well, they're trying. I keep joking that they're like the Hall of Fame draw. Roman Reigns could bail him out, and they pulled the Roman. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
They brought him back because I think my thing with Roman is always like I think Roman is always been overrated by them. I think the draw wasn't really him. The draw was the people around him more than anything.
Yeah.
And he was like fine, but he requires other cool people to work around. Mox, Seth. Sammy, Cody, Heyman, right? So you got to have like all these other elements. And I think Roman's fine, kind of like as a side piece in some of these things, not like the main thing. And he's also like a leukemia patient, and he's never going to work. Like I actually like got heat for saying this, but I do think that like I said this as a joke, and then like people were reporting it, and I don't know if it came from me. They saw me on Discord. I said that I thought that like there was a good chance that like TKO was going to ask to renegotiate Roman's contract when it comes up.
Think that'll happen
because I said, but my logic was like, look, Roman can't work that many dates, so like I can't like what I think is happening with WWE in part is I think TKO gave Paul a fixed budget, right? Said, which is the way it's like, look, this is how much money you can spend on talent, right?
Yeah.
And so direct contracts, like TKO doesn't care as long as he meets his number, right?
Yeah.
So if I've got to give this huge number to like say Miz or Roman, and I can't count on them to be on TV because I gotta like WWE's a content farm. I gotta do all these shows. So if Roman's gonna show up like 8-9 times a year, well, fuck, can I spend all that money on him? And I think that like what's gonna eventually, I think what they're gonna say is like, look, we'll pay you, but we'll pay you per appearance, right? We can't pay you we'll give you a Brock deal, right? But we can't pay you if you're not here, right? Because I don't think like they don't have the budget to pay for him at the level they're paying him. Is he's going to be like Mr. Part-Time, right? And he doesn't doesn't draw a house or merch at a level to justify him at that level. So it's the same thing as like it's why I said like I think that like Miz is in danger of not getting re-upped because like how do you justify Miz unless he takes like a massive pay cut? How do you justify Miz when he's not really drawing and he's not really showing up regularly on TV? And also, I mean, Miz has other gigs, so I'm like,
I think he's hosting a game show.
He's hosting American Gladiators.
Yeah.
So like, it's a thing where like I think that's what's happened a little bit with like Ron Killings, which is like it wasn't that he wanted, it's just like he didn't have any money for Ron Killings. He had like this budget, and then what ended up happening is I think they got Killings probably through the company they don't own, which is TNA. Like my take with TNA and like some of these other places is that's a way for Triple H to like get around the budget. Like, so since it's not my direct salary budget, if I have like Santana on TNA and he's coming in as a contractor, right? And a contractor isn't salary. So I'm bringing, so Santana to WWE is right now is cost, right? Joe Hendry is cost. What I mean by that is like, he's coming in as like, he's like catering, right? I'm booking Santana, I'm booking Hendry like they're catering, not like their regular budget salary. So this is like why TNA works for WWE in a way, because it's a way for them to like hide contracts without having to pay for them, and then also kind of like have more people on their salary control. There's the whole thing. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But the point being, like right now, WWE is in a really rough spot where like I don't see where they go from here, and the talent like that I think they can push is not NXT talent. Like I think like if I look at their whole thing and like who would they push. I said Ethan Page. I said Santana. I said Fatu. You mentioned Fatu, but I think like Fatu, can they really push Fatu to the top? Would they?
Not in this system. They can't. They're not going to. Not.
I mean, maybe with TKO. Maybe TKO doesn't care that much, and they'll be fine. But like TKO through EFC has. I mean, they had Conor McGregor and other guys. I think they might be willing to push Fatu all the way, right?
They could. If I was them, it's like it's Fatu.
Fatu has it. By the way, I think Fatu has it. Right.
I think Braun Breaker. I do think
Braun's
he's still raw.
Braun,
that's the thing.
Well, no, Braun's also small.
Yeah. Because when you saw him trying to heads up with Fatu's like 6'3", and he looked like he's wide but he's short.
That's going to be the limiting factor for him at the top for WWE is he's small.
Yeah.
And that house style does not favor small guys, right?
Yeah.
At the top.
He's probably, if he's like in the wrong company, like honestly, if I'm him, WWE seems like it's the right company.
Braun Breaker would be like the biggest star in Japan right now.
Got Rex Steiner in Japan, spearing and suplexing people. My God.
People would be like, "Holy shit!" Because here's the thing: he is actually a good worker. He is actually a guy who has like good presence and good style. I just don't know. Again, I just don't know that they're going to go all the way with Braun Breaker, right?
Yeah. If it was, it's really weird to say if Vince was running, maybe, but like I don't think like they're gonna give him the tools
Vince.
to really be hitting as a main eventer in WWE, considering all
Okay.
the other guys who would be his
I think
contemporaries. He's
I
like he
think
would
we're
have
getting.
zero contemporaries, honestly.
I was gonna say we're getting close to the end point here, right? I do have a hard out at some point a little bit.
Yeah.
Are there any last bits or things that you want to touch? Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to
Yeah.
talk about?
Yeah. So if I wanted to like talk about the state of the business and like we're at two ends of the spectrum. I know it sounded like we were dooming about New Japan. I know that it sounded like we are dooming about WWE. Fuck WWE, whatever.
Well,
And
but I'll be clear. Like New Japan is not a top 4 promotion or top 5 promotion for
Yeah.
me in the world right now. It's
Yeah.
like AEW, CMLL,
CMLL.
Dragon Gate, Stardom,
Yeah.
and DDT are all way more interesting to me than like New Japan.
Yeah, and you think
And it
about
seems like here's the thing, like DDT, I'm not into like say DDT to like watch it all the time, but like when
Yeah.
I sit down and watch a DDT show, it's fucking great.
yeah, if I could get anybody from DDT to AEW, like of course I'll get Canon. I would get that. What was it Takechi that idol they just signed full time. I would try to get Higuchi because Higuchi would be like if you had a guy if you had Ishii, but he was 6'5" and 20 years younger. And Higuchi's a handsome dude too.
What's that Dragon Gate like the God is it the DDT one with the police guys?
Oh yeah,
I saw
bad cop Kato.
No.
He is a handsome guy too. Oh man, we're talking about
that's a good. But see, those are guys. That's a good shitter to have on like your undercard. That's a
Yeah.
guy who's perfect for working like
yeah.
I mean like just put him like working on tags. Fucking great. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like-
he's like 6'2", taller than everybody, bigger than everybody,
yeah,
and like shitting
and the
it
girls
up.
love him.
Yeah,
They
the
love
girls.
him. It's great.
It's great. He like he was never gonna get over like as a face. Also because his energy was like.
To get to the problem, like, and WWE is running on the fumes in the history of being that, but I do think that like they're in a dangerous spot because AEW finally, I think, nailed having the proper TV partner, and they're starting to nail running the live show thing, and they have a good partnership with CML. Now, I mean, WWE is doing their thing, but I do think that like in terms of interest in having a good product, they finally got out of the way and put the right. They got the ace, and they got. Even if they went away from Hangman, okay, so yeah, who's the next guy? Well, put it on Swerve, put it on Ospreay, put it on Takeshita, put it on Fletcher, put it on Bandito.
Oh
they
yeah,
have a crew of guys.
Actually, this is something I got to bring up. So the big six for AEW, right? Fletcher, Bandito, Takeshita, Ospreay, Hangman, Swerve. They're all under 35 right now, right? They're all under 35. For the next 5 years, you could build your main event scene around those 5 guys.
And you didn't mention Trevor.
Yeah. You got Ricochet there too.
And Trevor's been fucking awesome. Like Ricochet. Yeah. Ricochet's been fucking awesome. And he's great. He's fucking great. He's so cool. MJF can. Here's the thing. I think MJF is in the right place where he needs to be the gateway guy. If MJF ever gets a world title run, it should be a world title run, short one, right?
Yeah.
We didn't mention Darby, who's another guy who should get like a short run.
Yeah.
So
I'm talking Darby, about top of the card. I'm talking about those big
here's the thing,
six.
like,
I would
there's
put
an
top
argument.
of the card.
I've had this long conversation. There's an argument that Darby is the best TV wrestler ever, right?
He might be, yeah.
Like if you think about his body of work, and Darby's not a guy that necessarily, but like he's a god. Like talk about an asset to have in the middle of your card, in the middle of your show. There's like this is I was giving kudos to Mike Bailey because Mike Bailey is like kind of like that.
Perfect TNT champion. That's
perfect. Like having guys like Bailey, like Darby, like Mark Briscoe, like Roddy Strong, like AR Fox, who are like, I just throw these guys into a TV match and fuck, it's gonna be good, right?
Yeah.
What an asset! Like, oh, let's just throw in AR. Like, well, we need to have just throw in AR Fox, throw in AR Fox and Briscoe.
Put Mortals with anybody.
They got Gringo. They got Gringo doing shit now. Look, Gringo on Hechicero. Like, just throw in Hechicero.
Yeah.
It's like, God,
it's an embarrassment of riches, man. It's an embarrassment of riches.
And they figured out that the way to use this is to have like these multi-mans where you're throwing in all these like great workers, or like throw in matches like Dorada. Like, by the way, have you seen the Dorada Hechicero match from Collision? If you haven't, you should.
Okay.
It's before the go find that this Collision match, Dorada and Hechicero, and they work a Javis match, which it's not what you expect, but they work like, and it's this really great like different styles. They're very specifically working like a different style match. It fucking rules, right?
That's how you
And
can tell people are being given the trust to run what they want to run.
yeah, I like Bandito and it's like, yeah, let's just work this match, right? Like it's gonna be like, or Bandito and Taka working a match where they're doing all the finishers from like all the historical. Like the one thing that disappointed me that the Bandito Takeshita match is Bandito should have won with a muscle buster. They're doing all the historical finishers. I needed Takeshita to do End of Heartbreak, and I needed Bandito to win it with a muscle buster.
Yeah,
That would have been perfect. Just
yeah. There's a muscle
cattle
buster missing.
there's a cattle mutilation in that match. There's what is Loki's finish? That's the other one. Like they did AJ's finisher. They did I think they did.
Yeah.
This is really cool. That match, by the way, just that's the kind of shit that you want.
I kind of wanted a package pile driver, just one. I just would have liked.
But you know what I say? They should have finished with a muscle buster.
Yeah.
Like if we're doing tributes, like the champ is here, baby.
Yeah.
And Samoa Joe's another guy you can randomly throw in. Shibata's another guy you just randomly.
Yeah, like when I think about like that stuff, like we're talking about like wrestlers who we think are cool. Samoa Joe is cool. Shibata is cool. Hobbs is cool. Hobbs is another one of the guys I could think like you could like throw in, but like it's kind of hard with him.
How many guys does New Japan have under contract? Right. That would crack the top under contract. It has to be just a New Japan contract that would crack like the top 10 of coolest guys in AEW.
Yeah, that's hard, man.
Kid, maybe.
I don't know. Like he
Finley,
lost.
Maybe.
You know, like I like David Finlay. He's a really great worker. His work is like snug. He works a good style, but I don't know if he
outlaw Chase Owens.
The Lone Star. And then we talk about that, and then we talk about like Jay White's contract being in dispute right now. It would be in his best interest to not go to WWE right now.
Well,
it might be in his good interest because I do see Triple H putting a belt on him. But he's small.
Yeah, but if he goes, well, no, but he's also a Triple H XP. So if he goes to WWE, I always thought that if he goes to WWE, they're gonna give him Motorhead as a theme, and he's gonna be champ within 6 months. Right?
Yeah, because he has the body, he has the style. The style is very Triple H. I said this because I hated him in New Japan because of the slow work, the heelish things, the cheating. Like it was all Triple H, and I'm like, he's perfect for WWE.
They're gonna give him Triple H's finisher and Lemmy as his entrance music.
Oh yeah.
And he's got Stephanie McMahon is gonna walk him to the ring.
Wow.
I think Jay White should I think some guys should go to WWE because I do think that Jay White's been like ill. he's been ill used by AEW. He would be pushed. There's nobody in front of him. He'd be pushed to the top of the card. I think.
He can also promo, man.
Yeah, and New Japan isn't gonna pay him. So what does she need if he should? He's one guy who should go to WWE.
He'd probably keep his name too. He'd probably keep his name, keep the switchblade. They'd probably switch.
Hunter, call him Hunter White or something.
Something. He's definitely going to.
Jay Levesque.
Oh, he would definitely hit. He would definitely hit over there. You've convinced me. But yeah, man.
No. They can call him Tara White. You know how White. Triple H's first name was Tara Rising in WCW.
Oh yeah, that'd be.
So he can be Jay Rising.
Yeah, man. I want to thank you for spending this time for me, Primo. It's been killer. This is good stuff.
We should do this. We should do this more often. Say to the business. Let's do this after the G1.
Yeah.
Let's do this between the G1 final and Forbidden Door because I do think there's a chance that we are peak discourse. Depending on how I'm gonna say TK Tony Khan be a sicko. Book sicko. Just discourse, man. Discourse. Do it. You know you want to. I want to hear Stardust on Dynamite. Because it would just piss off all the right people.
Oh, that's what I love. I love passive aggressive moves. Yeah, man. I did thank you for talking with me for so long about all this stuff. I think this is stuff that we need to get out there. There's a lot of guys like right now that are talking heads. It's funny to see like the people who are all the WWE influencer YouTuber guys turning on WWE, and then seeing like the old men, the LaGrecas, and the Rajgiris climbing on saying no, AEW TNA is the number 2 promotion. AEW is whatever and all this. Like okay, and like
Well, congratulations to TNA that they're finally going to have a show bigger than the Tokyo Joshi Pro show in Dallas last week
wow,
in the US. Like this new show because I mean they had to bring in AJ back. Like, and if you know the story, like, have you ever watched AJ Styles' last match in TNA?
Yeah, the one where he just
Well, basically they bring out the entire roster to pin him.
Yeah, yeah.
It still took the entire roster to be like. So technically, you can make an argument that AJ Styles is still the TNA champion.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh man,
I'm looking for you, WWE.
I remember they tried to bring him in, like, was it 2021? They tried to bring him in for the Hall of Fame, and he said, "Fuck that."
Yeah. I mean, I think that's still a different era. It's a very different era for TNA now. Yeah. I do think that like they're gonna wind up being a WWE property, but that's like putting the cart before the horse. But here's the thing, this was fun. I think I want to make clear like a monopoly was bad for wrestling in the US.
Yes.
So even though I fuck the Fed, I do want the Fed to not die, right?
Yeah. I want people to get paychecks. That's what I want.
I want people to get paychecks. I want to have the ability of people to go different places, and it's fine to have different styles.
Yeah.
And I do think that like movement, like naturally people will leave AEW because they don't have a spot on top of the card, and WWE will get, maybe not good, but it'll get interesting again. Yeah. Like we said, Jay White. We said like exclusive. What is it? Exclusive engagement for Private Party. Yeah. And like other people will move, and I think that like. I also don't think necessarily going to stick with Hunter forever. I do think that like things are going to move, and it's good like that we have like different styles and different options. Like, but right now, like WWE is a mess.
Yeah.
But at least they're getting paid for it. Whereas like New Japan's a mess, but I don't know how the fuck to get out of that one.
Yeah.
But Japan like the thing. I'm going to make one last point about Japan. I made it earlier. The thing about Japan is typically every 15 years or so you get like a change, and there's a new number 1 company. And that didn't happen, and maybe it's going to happen at some point in the future. But like New Japan feels like a very weak number 1 in Japan to me, because like you look at them and you're like, why the fuck would I watch this?
Yeah, all they need,
and they need to fix that.
Yeah, they need to fix that because they're going to be on national TV for the first time in like 20 years.
Yeah, put it on Takeshita, put it on Tsuji, put it on. Yeah. Don't put it on Shota.
Yeah,
but.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure, man, and we'll do this again.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. And like I want to say, go to American Numbers on Twitter for all your gambling needs. It's a good thing. I made money off the NBA playoffs, so thank you so much, man.
Talk later, man.